Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. I am Book of Meat Factory. How's it going everybody? Star Fox Rain, it's so good to see you. Kuno, how are you today? Oh my goodness, it's so nice to see you everybody. Kuno's feeling a little under the weather at the moment. Oh no, we'll get some rest. I hope you feel better soon. Fingers crossed. But it's so nice to see everybody. We didn't stream yesterday, sadly. I had a bunch of stuff going on. And Kuno, your support's always welcome, always appreciated too. Folks, tonight we're going to be starting a new game for our Monday and Wednesday streams, which is going to be the greatest third-person action adventure platformer set in the Elder Scrolls series. Maybe the only one, but it's also the best one because it is the only one. Redguard, the only one. Star Fox was like, Skyrim? Oh man, Skyrim's. My hot take is Skyrim's not even in the top 5 of Elder Scrolls games. That's how I feel about Skyrim. I feel bad for saying that. It's a fun game. I just don't. It's not interesting. This is me. That's just me though. That's just me. That doesn't make it law. I promise you. All right. And I wanted to get Elder Scrolls for my N gauge for my collection, but holy crap, it's like $200. Star Fox Rain, those games are on the list to play for sure. And of course, the Elder Scrolls spin-off games are going into the Video Game Obscura, for sure, from the blog that I'm doing, because not a lot of people have played them. Some people are aware of them, but they've never really played them or know exactly the extent of how those games play. But I played this game when I was a kid. I played Redguard a bunch when I was a kid. I never got anywhere, but I just loved exploring the world, and I loved reading the manual immensely. At some point, we're going to dig into the manual. What stinks is that there's no good scans of the manual. It's very hard to read, especially the pocket book of the pocket guide to the Empire, which is really amazing because it gave insight to the world of the Elder Scrolls and gave us some insight into future games. I mean, they talk about the stuff that we see in now in Skyrim and stuff like this, which was really kind of cool to see. But they also talk a lot about stuff that isn't in Skyrim, like that should have been, which is interesting, which is kind of sad that you don't see it, but just saying. Anyways, let's dig into it. Let's just jump right in. Let's go. Let me get everything. Oh, I don't need to launch it. It's already launched. Blink. Playing these games when you were a kid was like, I have a fish. Do you want the fish? Do you want it? What about you? Asking everyone everywhere, like in King's Quest and such. Oh, for sure. What's kind of fun about this one, though, what's great about this one is that... Well, let's make sure everything works. Boom. Okay, good. What's great about this one is there's a ton of dialogue. There's a lot. They talk a lot in this game. It's a very talky game. This was the first Elder Scrolls game to have speech, recorded dialogue in it. Fully. Daggerfall, of course, has a little bit, and so does Arena. But this is fully voiced. And, oh man. I mean, the cast of characters is a delight. I mean, look at the dude in the middle right. That's Nagasta. Look at him. Oh, he's a thing of beauty. You bet your ass we're going to try to make Nagasta... Oh, Jesus. To make Nagasta in Tomodachi Life, that's for sure. I was testing things out. It's not real. We're going to start over. And enjoy this wonderful cutscene. Give me some information. This takes place 400 years before Arena. So this is the earliest in the timeline of all the Elder Scrolls games. Bethesda Softworks presents the Elder Scrolls Adventures. You can see there's actually a bunch of Elder Scrolls Adventures planned. They could see on that bookshelf. Never came out. Never came out. I might have to turn on the volume on this in 1 second. Once the stuff's done, because I can't adjust the volume yet. Todd Howard. world art. Todd Howard. I want to see that Todd Howard world art. Bum ba bum, bum ba bum ba bum, ba bum. Chip Ellinghies.
It is late in the Second Era, a time of war, as the empire of Tiber Septim sweeps through the kingdoms of Tamriel in a glorious bid for conquest. Septim is opposed on all sides, but never more fiercely than by Hammerfell, the ancestral home of the Redguards. The High King of Hammerfell, Thasard II, resists the imperial invasions even as he sees other kingdoms crumble, until at last, without warning and surprisingly devoid of court treachery, death takes its full measure.
Devoid of treachery.
With its High King dead, Hammerfell is crippled, plunging into a bloody civil war between the crowns, fighting for their homeland's continued sovereignty, and the forebears, who have finally accepted the Emperor's rule. The crowns, led by the heir to Thasard, Prince Ator, are continually victorious, spilling the blood of the forebears across Hammerfell's sands. From his seat of power in the port city of Stros Makai, Prince Ator slowly reunites his father's unraveled kingdom. Feeling their impending defeat, the forebears sign a pact with the Emperor, allowing him to bring his armies in, crush the crowns, and rule Hammerfell as his own. Tiber Septim's armies prove too much for the proud Redguard crowns. Tiber Septim sends his best commander, Lord Richten, to Stros Makai to close the grip on Prince Ator and the crowns. The prince rallies his forces for one last stand. Knowing that Hammerfell's sovereignty is at stake, the crown forces match the might of the Empire, meeting them in the harbor of Stros Makai for the final battle. The fighting is fierce. Lord Richten, having seen the prince's victories at sea before, decides to bring his last resource to the fore. The dragon, Nathalilagus, proud jewel of the Imperial crown. Ator commands his archers to ready their weapons, but is struck down himself by Richten's assassin, felled by an arrow whose poison spreads too fast. Ator's wizard attempts to save the prince, but the dragon ends his magic and the crown's hope for victory in a single fiery breath.
Oh, snap.
Having conquered the crowns, the Emperor's forces claim rule over all of Hammerfell. Imperial garrisons are stationed at every city, and Richten himself is named provisional governor of Stros Makai. Months pass. The Redguards of Hammerfell, both crown and forebear, learn to live under the new imperial rule, and Tiber Septim extends his reach into the rest of Tamriel. It is only through fate that any of this will come to concern our hero, Cyrus,
Hi,
a
Simon.
Redguard who long ago left Hammerfell to wander the borderlands of the Empire.
Krymie, Cyrus, eto forwakecher okodor.
Let's make this short, Sarathra. I've got work to do.
Why aren't the Khajiit normally talking like this?
Ficho,
Come on.
I leave with Duardine's men in an hour.
Renrigi intnor, hoko o imperio ja, iko pofam rototvelk.
You should know you got me the job.
Tragir. Sratra kol kotero to Hammerfell, boshe in rot.
The seal is broken.
Sratra warrega.
Sratra
I
hype.
bet you were.
Nuko Duadin, Sratra X Kyle.
Izara.
Rolita dek kaudor.
I need a ship.
To board the koi Sratra Nakovik Warabarashi.
Money, too.
Sridwadin ja, epako ja srik. Pur sratra kadoiliter beko.
We haven't spoken in 10 years. There was trouble.
Kakatar.
I killed her husband.
Oh, Cyrus. Dastardly rogue.
Hammerfell's prodigal son, Cyrus, returns to the province of his birth. He buys passage to the island of Stosmakai in the hopes of rescuing his sister, Izara.
We'll turn the volume down once we get started in the gameplay.
Get below is what the pilot said to the wet-eared knaves before him.
The Restless League is claiming this cargo.
Said the other with cruel clarity.
Probably wouldn't make a difference if I told you I had no time for this.
This is about Redguard armor, boy. Stand aside.
Yes, a doubtful notion it is. Piracy and politics. But there you have it.
Never been much for politics. In my day, piracy was honest work.
Don't be a hero, boy.
Where's the money in that?
And yea, verily, by his bravery they were impressed for a scant few seconds.
Oh God, sorry. I don't know what that was about, but oh, I'm so sorry. Hold on. That was some loud noises, I apologize. Let me get this fixed for you. Whoop. Turn this down a tad. It's a bit loud. There you go. Cyrus's voice actor played male Redguard in Elder Scrolls 3, and he later played male Redguard in Elder Scrolls 4, and also played male Redguard in Elder Scrolls 5. Yeah. He was all the voices of the Redguards. Welcome, Simon. Welcome, Soccer. It's so good to see you all. How are you guys doing today? Alright. So, this is a weird game. Holding Alt is auto block.
Not this time.
You two dance very well, but alas, let me show the way.
Small cut swords forward, boy.
Oh God.
Move over.
Oh God, oh God. Oh God. God, run. Okay. I accidentally hit the wrong button. Hitting block and attack sheathes your weapon.
You're rusty. Move over.
Let's be honest. You little bastard. No, I'm dead. You really should have reconsidered this.
One down. Now the weirdo.
He thinks to himself, you really should have reconsidered this. He thinks to himself,
There we go.
Cyrus! Captain, good to see you back in command.
Sakura's quakening.
Ah, please call me Brennan. You disposed of those ruffians so quickly, I had no time to retrieve my sword from my cabin.
That's so.
Look, over there.
Look over there. Pirates. Dream Goof. I didn't stream Quick IF Dream Goof. I'm sorry. I should have. It was such a good time. That was such a great game. The interactive fiction Quake.
Let us move on before more show up.
Get ready for really loud environmental sounds. I'll probably try to turn that down. I think I can in the options. Oh, dude. I'm very excited for... I hope that they do some stuff in Redguard, in the official Elder Scrolls 6 Redguard, that they do something good, man. At some point, we'll go over the manual, too, and talk about the manual, and, like, because the manual has a pocket guide to the Empire, and it discusses, like, culture and all these information about the world that you don't see in the games, typically.
I hope this letter finds your hands, friend. My latest travels have brought me to Stosmakai, and no one here has seen your sister for 3 months. I fear the worst. I feel obligated to stay for a few weeks. I'll be at the Dragon Tail Inn should you return. Tobias.
Okay, get ready for lots. Now, look, we can look at everything. Wow. Okay. I'm going to change the sound here so that the environmental sounds aren't so loud because they just overwhelm things in this game. Sound. Everything's so loud. Okay, I think that should do. Hopefully. Alright, so we use the arrow keys to walk around. And it's something.
Cyrus.
Get ready for lots of dialogue.
Brennan, can I have a minute?
Anything for your like, Cyrus.
Okay.
I am looking for my sister Izara. Perhaps you have heard of her.
I'm afraid not. Before the Empire cleaned things up, Stros Makai was a pirate haven, avoided by honest merchants like myself.
Oh yeah, so honest.
The pirates who attacked us spoke of a restless league. Have you heard of them?
Other captains tell me the remaining banditti have organized themselves against the Empire's crackdown on smuggling and piracy.
Yeah, Simon. Yeah, Quake 64, absolutely. I have a Quake on Saturn. I don't know if all versions of Quake had music done by Trent Reznor, or was it just the Saturn version? But I remember the Saturn one being like, Trent Reznor does the music for this. It's amazing.
How has Stros Makai fared under its new imperial masters?
The locals are still chafing at the bit, but in time, they will come to appreciate the benefits of membership in the Empire.
That's so,
The benefits of the
I'm meeting
Empire.
a friend at the Dragon Tail. Can you direct me?
I can't recommend it, but it's the only drink hole in this godforsaken town. Up the bridge, you see to the right, through the gate to the town square, you'll see the sign.
The Empire has done well in its conquest of Hammerfell, you think?
Absolutely. No offense, but Hammerfell is in need of some law and order.
It seems the Empire has not eliminated all the pirates from Stros Makai.
Apparently so. They've become bold, attacking a ship so far into Hunting Bay. But give it time. The Empire has only been here a few months.
Interactive fiction is IF,
We'll talk
Simon.
later.
Yeah. Alright, so we have to get to walking. This is when things get kind of weird. The controls are a bit wonky, so just like, get ready. It's very stunted and strange. But we'll be talking with folks. We're in the island of Stros Makai, which you can actually go to in Daggerfall. Of course, it wasn't like this in any way.
Ahoy there, sailor.
Watch
Can I
this.
have a word with you?
You can. Watch. 1 second, dude. Hold on. I'm gonna jump on this. Hold on. Hold on. Jumping.
Get your ass off of there.
Yeah, and you jump on the
Hey,
table.
stranger.
He's like,
Just
get your
the
ass
man
off of
I'm
there.
looking for.
You see monsters, shoot the monster. You see a monster, I shoot the monster. You see a monster. Exactly, Simon. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. That's that's not quite how the IF works. Yeah.
What can I do for you, friend?
The question is, what can I do for you? The young stranger in town, fearless, footloose, and fancy-free, a little light of purse, perhaps? I have a proposition that may appeal, but first allow me to introduce myself. Katero, contractor
Hi,
of
Katero.
Stros Makai, at your service.
Cyrus.
Charmed.
I wonder if you know my sister, Izara. I've come to Stros Makai to find out what's happened to her.
I'm afraid I don't know her. I'm just a simple working man. You might try Dreekius up at the Dragon Tail. Pretty much everyone in Stros Makai passes through his door eventually.
Dragon Tail.
What do you know about a group of ruffians calling themselves the Restless League?
Damn them and their bloody-minded ways. They've done more to ruin Stros Makai than the Four Bears and Empire combined. If it weren't for them, this city would have been at peace months ago.
I haven't been in Hammerfell since
Learning a lot.
before the war. How do you like being a citizen of the Empire?
Sure beats war, my young friend. I won't lie to you, though. Hard to find honest labor these days. Four Bears would rather smirk than lift, and the Crowns don't have the back for it anymore.
Ah.
Sounds like the Crowns are taking their defeat pretty hard.
Yeah, I've always stayed out of politics. Bad for business. Crown, Four Bear, I don't care. As long as their coin is true.
My philosophy is, what's done is done. Live and let live. The grass is always greener, you know?
Always greener.
I guess the forebears are still savoring victory in the Civil War, eh?
Yeah, you could say that, although you might not want to say it in their faces. They're a touchy lot these days.
I've been up north for years, but I was pretty sure the forebears won the war.
Touchy.
Of course they did. And the forebears like to bust up the dragon tail just in case anyone doubts it. Some ungenerous crowns like to point out the Imperial flags flying all over the palace and the Imperial soldiers patrolling the streets. None of my concern, though.
Just saying.
I'm supposed to meet a friend at the Dragon Tail. Can you direct me?
It's the only watering hole in town. Follow the ramps uphill to the town square. Bit of friendly advice, watch your step. The forebears
I
are a
love
touchy lot these
this.
days.
I have a nostalgia for the visuals.
You
Call me
yourself a
crazy.
contractor. What does that mean?
I love
Over here we have
this
someone who needs
visual.
something done. Over there we have someone who's looking for work.
The low poly.
How do they find each other? That's where I come
This
in.
is like I said, EverQuest looks like this, and I love
What
it.
about this job you have for me?
A simple task. Pick up an amulet from the Gasta and deliver it to the governor's palace.
Simple task.
Now, to be honest, I've been having trouble
Simple
finding
task.
someone to take the job.
Remember, it's simple.
But I'm sure a robust lad such as yourself pays no attention to silly local superstitions.
What would be
Are
the
you
local?
interested?
I'm interested. Sure.
Sure. I'll take the job.
Splendid. Here's your 100 gold. I'll have the rest for you after you deliver the amulet to the governor.
Perfect.
Well, I'm sure you won't have any trouble, but, you probably want to do this during the daylight.
Yep. Graphics make me feel a bit nostalgic. Indeed.
Refresh my memory about this
Oh,
job
that's
you
fine. I can
hired
skip
me
this.
for.
A simple task.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button. Okay. Take this amulet to the guy at the palace. Director Luc Besson could ride a 2-hour roller coaster thrill ride out of this quest. Oh,
Nagasta?
Simon,
Yeah,
it is.
harmless old hermit.
It is not a simple
The more
task.
superstitious of my fellow citizens repeat silly rumors about him, but I put no stock in their tales. He lives in the old wizard's tower. Just follow the shoals on the northwest
A
side of the
harmless
island.
old hermit.
Any idea what's so important about this amulet?
That's between the Gasta and the governor. I just get paid to find a delivery man.
How much are you offering for this job?
Like I said, I've been having trouble hiring for this job, so I'm upping the rate a bit. 100 up front and 200 more after completion.
That's pretty high for a simple delivery.
What's the catch?
The pay's proportional to the danger. Nagasta's tower isn't exactly on the main road, you know?
Oh, the
So you
danger.
may have a little trouble getting there. Nothing that you can't handle, I'm sure.
Where can I find the governor's palace?
Straight at the top of the hill. You can't miss it. The grandest structure in Stros Mackay, maybe in all of Hammerfell.
Ooh.
Quite the tourist attraction before the late unpleasantness.
The late unpleasantness.
What superstitions do the locals harbor about this Nagasta?
Oh, Simon, you wait.
Oh, you know, they
I don't even know if
call
we'll
him
get to
necromancer.
Nagasta by the end of the stream
Rattle
tonight.
about him stealing people's souls, armies of undead, you know, that sort of thing.
That sort of thing. Necromancy,
Nothing
no
a
big deal.
well-armed fellow like yourself would worry about.
No big deal.
How is the Restless League responsible for ruining Stros Mackay?
Burning or plundering half the cargoes headed for this port, stirring up the Imperials to ever more ruthless repression. The League doesn't seem to realize that the war is over, and they lost.
You're saying the League was allied with the Crowns?
That depends on who you ask.
I don't know. He-
I'm not one of your political gentlemen.
He's not,
always
but he likes to talk about
someone
himself.
else's business. I'm just a poor working stiff.
Can't help but talk about it.
Bird in the hand is better, you know what they say.
I don't know what you're saying.
A friendly local lizard. Not that I have anything against him, or her, or whatever. Can't ever tell with those Argonians. Runs the Dragon Tail, the tavern on the town square.
Not all Agronians look the same.
We'll talk later.
We'll talk later. Hi, dude, walking into the wall. How you doing?
One moment.
Sorry, man. Imperials everywhere. I don't talk with strangers.
Oh, snap. Mysterious. So we're in the port of Stros Makai right now. We are heading our way up to the main town. This is, oh man, this place is surreal. Can't ever tell with those Argonians. He was clearly never read the Lusty Argonian Maid. That's a good one. We should head first to the tavern because our contact there will leave eventually if we don't address it right away. Like, he will eventually leave. So we're gonna head in. Hello, guard. So this is like the main plaza central area here, the big hub. And this is really kind of the hub of the game that we are playing. This is like it. It's a hub, a central social hub. And it's really good times. Like, it feels great. So I played Star Trek Online for a few hours as an Orion. My ship's name was Lusty Argonian Maid. Gotta keep that tradition alive. Sadly, this is as fast as Cyrus goes. This is as fast as he goes. Oh, this isn't the Lusty Argonian Maid. Where is the Lusty Argonian Maid? It's on the other side, I think. Yeah. I forget where everything is. Here it is. The Dragon Tail. The Lusty Argonian Maid. You got me saying it, Simon. Oh! Hello, DOS Nostalgic. How are you today, my friend? Welcome! So this is like Arena, but in third person. No. Kuno, this is an adventure platformer. It's such a pleasure to have you. Welcome. Folks who don't know, by the way, you should know, DOS Nostalgic is a very prestigious person on the internet who has a massive love and passion for DOS gaming, and you should too. Play DOS games. We should play more. Alright, we are playing the wonderful... This is the fourth game titled... Yeah, Dream Group, exactly.
You made it! Come here, lad.
Anatoly's work is
You look good.
absolutely phenomenal in the highlighting and preservation and love and passion for the era of video games that most people forget about. We need more... more PC, retro PC appreciation in this world. Thank you, Sakura. Thank you. You should follow their YouTube and on all of the social medias. All right.
It is lucky you were here, Tobias, or I wouldn't have known Azara was in trouble. I have not been in Hammerfell since the...
I know, lad, what you mean.
With the big mouth on the internet, nothing else. Hey.
Makai has no one who could have reached me. Thank you.
Your talk... Earl, welcome.
I fear things have gotten worse for your sister since.
Hold on. Dialogue. Your talk on French games, weird French games, definitely a major inspiration and ignited a passion for my love of weird French games. We just recently played and beat Commander Blood, and it was so fantastic. Like, it was, in the end, the game's okay, but it's more style than substance, which is weird French games more than anything. But it's interesting, and also made me want to go out and play Robinson's Requiem. That ending is legendary. Oh my gosh, that ending is insane. But Robinson's Requiem as well was I really enjoyed Robinson's Requiem as like a game. I thought it was really fun, and I can't wait to play Deus as well. Cool. All right, so yeah, we're talking to our buddy here. He sent the letter.
How did you know where to reach me, Tobias? Our paths parted so long ago.
I didn't send it to you directly. I knew that damn cat was probably still getting you into trouble, even to this day. Srathra seemed the likely solution, and through the channels I'd heard, he'd made Wayrest his port of late.
I think Elder Scrolls Oblivion 4 is the game a couple of friends played in 2007. Yeah, that would be, yeah. So, Dream Goof, and it's wild is that Oblivion has two different iterations, too. Who's the lizard person? That's Dreekius, my friend Earl. He's the owner of the tavern. Oh my gosh. But Redguard is very janky. Yes. Oh my gosh, is it janky. But I feel like Redguard is the beginning of the end of the narrative and world building of the Elder Scrolls. It and Morrowind, that's the end. Like, the originality and the almost alien and playful effect of that, like of the design, is lost. And it's a shame because it's really interesting and evocative. And visually, I love this visual aesthetic. I love that mid to late 90s low poly look. It just it evokes something weird. I talk about readability in games, right? We become so oversaturated with detail to a point where you can't grok exactly where you are or what you're doing, or the details are lost and they just become noise at that point. And here, everything just feels much more visible, and you become much more well aware of your surroundings and oriented in where you're going and where things are. And it's just, I just feel that that's such an important thing that we need to learn, is let's dial back the detail a little bit.
Now, he's moved from the throne seekers of the old empire to the lesser lords of High Rock, still playing them to his benefit, raking in the gold on all fronts.
I thought that Septim had solidified the Britons.
As much as the Witchmen will, but there is still a lot of money to be made in the drawing of borders before the provincial laws dry completely. Mercenaries are in great demand right now, as are fixers like our cat friend.
Does he still stink so?
Indeed.
To hear.
I think I will go see him when I leave. It's been too long.
I would say that with Redguard, again, I've never beaten Redguard. I owned it as a kid, and I read its manual and comic book obsessively. And it's what really was the game that got me into the world of the Elder Scrolls in a big way. But to Cyrus says that this one's not that good. And you're not wrong.
How do you mean worse? What more do you know about
It's janky, but it's beautiful.
Nothing more than my letter is described. That she is gone and no one knows where. Just a bad feeling that's grown worse with the wait. The governor has not been merciful with the crowns that survived the battle. I hear his dragon's belly is full of the overloud. And that many died later in the burning of the old quarter.
Yeah, the thing is, like, Simon, controls in this are its worst enemy. Everything else about it is fascinating, right? Its design, its narrative, its visual aesthetic, all this stuff is really interesting. It's just that the execution of its controls are really, really difficult and unwieldy. And like I always talk about, and you guys all know who have been in my channel numerous times, we talk about it doesn't have to be good. It just has to be interesting. What is it doing that is interesting? And you'll find as we play through this, there's so much. There's so much. Dwarven Dad, how are you today, my friend?
The crowns fled ashore there after the battle. It was their last stand. The governor sent his dragon, and it was done.
Was Azara there?
That section of town is closed off. No one I've talked to knows if she was there or not.
Ooh, yeah, that district's all closed off. The old quarter. Sakura says, early 3D action adventures were hard. No one knew how they worked best. You're absolutely right. I mean, you go back and you play Tomb Raider, and Tomb Raider's janky and unwieldy. Dwarven Dad says, look at that Argonian. He's beautiful, Dwarven Dad. That's a beautiful Argonian. Dawson Nostalgic says, yeah, I wouldn't mind another game in this genre either, because sure, the gameplay is largely platformer-like, but it's not quite one. There's not much focus on action as much as just exploration and adventure. That's why I'm like, this is more adventure than action, right? It's like an adventure with a little bit of platforming and some action segments. I mean, Simon, you might be looking at the lusty Argonian maid right over there. Simon asks, why is that Argonian topless? What kind of place is this?
Where's the dragon now?
It's the right kind of place.
It's disappeared too. Some say it has returned to the Imperial
Dragons.
Province. Others say the governor keeps it well paid and fed in the catacombs below the palace.
Our first dragon reference in the series that you see, or that they talk about actively. Of course, you know, like dragons didn't exist for a long time. Jordan says, this isn't Baldur's Gate 3, it's better than. Shrimgu says, I would prefer exploration over action, especially if the latter were accompanied with bad controls.
Is there another way into the catacombs?
There is the traditional way.
Imagine that I laughed. Secret entrance, maybe?
Maybe. I don't know.
Who in this town knew of Azara?
I did not question many for fear of ill allegiance. Ooh. So I went to the temple to ask of her. For the brothers of RK are neutral in mortal affairs. There, Brother Niddle told me that Azara had vanished, and set me on the road of writing you. Also, Dreekius here knew that she was missing too.
What can you tell me about Azara?
She frequented this establishment much before the battle in Hunting Bay. Less after, of course.
Of course.
You'd
She
find
was a fervent one, your
that
nestling,
this game
who
has a
hated the
lot.
Empire, not in
It's kind of similar to, comparable to Tomb Raider. Fred Rice, how's it going?
disappeared for a while.
Oh, it's
She disappeared 3 months ago.
No, I'm talking about
Jeez.
before that, right after the battle. Many crowns had scattered in the wake then, hiding where they could. I didn't see her for several days following. But then she showed up, needing a drink and rambling, tense on some decision.
on some decision.
The Imperials came and I let her out through the back. I haven't seen her since.
So you're gonna find that there's a lot of kind of similarities to Tomb Raider in terms of both its janky controls and kind of its puzzle structure and these sorts of things, but it leans heavier into adventure than Tomb Raider does. But there is a very good comparison to be made in just how it plays and kind of some of its design
So
structures.
the priests are still safe from being conquered.
Be that as it may, the temple is quite empty of priests, save for Brother Niddle. It seems some of their ranks have disappeared also.
I'm noticing a theme. Where did you hear that?
Niddle told me Brother Catral vanished around the same time as your sister, and that they knew each other.
Oh, Fred Rice, you playing Baldur's Gate 3 with Dwarven Dad? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I had a major glitch that happened on mine that I couldn't play it for a couple days, which makes me sad. But I haven't had much time. When I finish, wow, Dark Void, which hopefully will be up by Sunday, or a little bit after. We'll go into Baldur's Gate for sure. Baldur's Gate 3, for sure.
Tell me about the temple.
The head priest, a Brother Niddle, was very helpful in regards to Azara. He seemed to know her well, and shared my concern over her disappearance. He is worth an interview.
I think I saw it across the plaza.
Yep. Oh my gosh, that was just the Azara talk.
What is the Restless League, Captain?
Where did you hear that name?
They attacked the ship that gave me passage.
Speak of it but in a whisper, and not too often.
Whisper.
The governor is searching the surrounding waters for them, and will see them broken and piked if he has his way. The League has survived the death of the Crown Prince and resists his enemies still. But they are few, and going fewer from what I hear, and have been reduced to brigandry these days. Not far from the lives we led not too long ago, eh?
And what will happen is that, like, I wish that Elder Scrolls from Oblivion onward took more of this kind of writing, because it doesn't. It doesn't.
Bold are these brigands, the Restless League, to attack a ship in the very harbor.
They must be running low on provisions to act so desperately. They have been ghosts of late, and this appearance is their first since I've been here.
How do you know about them then?
They ran the Iliac before the war. Our lanes have crossed.
Our lanes have
After
crossed.
the occupation, they've stayed relatively scarce.
Yes, which is why their attack on you is so troubling. No one knew of your impending arrival?
Nobody but Seraphra. Would it matter?
I'm not sure.
Ooh. Also, the thing is, man, why don't we have more games with more defined protagonists in like, you know, RPGs like this? Like,
We
not
were
as
never
this is an
brigands
RPG,
when I
you know what I
served
mean?
under you, Captain.
But like, I like
Only
having
mercenaries.
a more defined
Tell that to
protagonist
those on the
sometimes.
other end of
I don't
the
like
sword,
always
lad.
being a blank slate.
You see more of yourself in the men of the Restless League than you'd care to admit, I'd wager.
They're knaves with their eyes on Providence, nothing more. My sword's never been dressed for diplomacy. Give me gold for a throat, the throat for a slight, and I'm well. Give me a well-paying war.
War is the continuation
Mondo Mo,
of
welcome.
politics. That's it, right?
You quote Hunding like a Redguard, Tobias.
Or is the
But it is
continuation of
power
politics.
grows along the blade of a sword.
Pixelated Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
It is.
A drink to the Redguard.
Yeah, a drink. Yes, yes.
I see you still remember your childhood heroes, even if you've dismissed the homeland.
Hunting is a universal wellspring.
Be resolute, fear no sacrifice, and surmount every difficulty to win victory.
See? Anyone could admire that.
Tell me that your Redguard heart didn't buckle when you saw his statue.
Oh, it buckled.
Frandar Hunding is a great hero to Hammerfell, I'll admit, and even a little to myself. Hail the great founder and all that nonsense. But it's an ill plan to try and trigger the homeland tug through the invocation of Hunding, Tobias.
Really?
Don't forget, he left his homeland too, and never looked back.
That's because it fell into the sea, you dolt.
I love it. Dreamgoose says, Super Mario RPG was my first RPG, so I was originally led to believe RPGs involve turn-based combat and talking to characters in towns. Sometimes that's the case, and sometimes that's not. Especially when you get into Japanese RPGs versus Western RPGs, they share similar DNA in games like the original Ultima series and stuff like this, but there's a lot more variety in the style of RPG in computer RPGs at the time.
What brought you to Stros Mackay?
War and the rumors of war. Every merchant that's near and seaworthy has come to Stros Mackay in the wake of recent events. Either in the service of the provisional governor or to fill the sea lines that Septim has shattered, and that the crowns can run no more. I thought I might profit from a visit, but it has brought naught but sorrow and the sign of darker days. I fear I shall be leaving none too soon.
Simon says, my first RPG was Dragon Warrior 2. That was my belief for a long time. I'm making it a point this year to broaden that definition with the help of Black Isle, Interplay, Larian, Obsidian, and Bioware. My first was Bard's Tale. The Bard's Tale was my very first RPG as a kid. I was terrible at it. Couldn't do anything with it, but...
You were leaving camp?
You know.
When? And wherefore?
At sunset, if all goes well...
Oh my goodness, welcome Raiders one and all. Magi was taken. Welcome to the stream. Hello. What have you been playing? Welcome.
The Imperials have
hello there, you beautiful person.
Around the docks lately. I fear my inquiries into Izara's disappearance have interested them in all the wrong ways.
Hold on, let's get to a break of conversation.
I will help you as I can through the course of this day, but after that I must be done with it. I'm too old for an Imperial prison.
It won't
Kuno.
come to that.
Bard's Tale 1 is your first RPG as well.
Been here long enough.
Shadow, what were you playing today? Endgame of Devil. Tell me about this game. Tell me about this game.
To help you along if you need it. A lot can transpire in a day. We will see each other again.
So you're playing a wonderful indie game you recently discovered for the first time for 8 hours. It was amazing. Highly recommend it. Endgame of the... Let me write that down. Endgame Devil. Perfect. And for all those raiding who are coming in, hello, I'm Bogus Meat Factory. I am a variety streamer. I play a little bit of everything, new, old, you name it. I play it with a massive love and penchant for MMORPGs, Western RPGs, a lot of love for computer retro play. Simon says Gothic 1 through 3 are already on my GOG library and backlog. Simon, Gothic is it's a big blank spot on my experiences that I need to get into. Excuse me. Sorry, I have a bit of a cold. Still getting around my cold. It's a roguelike in the vein of Luck Be a Landlord, where you draft units to fight off these pesky adventurers coming for your precious treasures. It's really cool. Recently got English language, so I figured to give it up. That sounds awesome. Awesome. Well, welcome, everybody. Sakura says, JRPGs were born of Ultima and Wizardry. They really embraced the elements of those early titles and evolved it on its own. Absolutely, Sakura. It took those concepts, right? Because at that time, PC gaming had no boundaries. Had no definitions, and that everybody was, and at that time development, everybody is eating up everything they could to take for inspiration for their game design. And indeed, Replugus people, woohoo! And taking everything they can for game design, and Japan getting a hold of Ultima and Wizardry, and then infusing it with parts of Japanese culture, these things like manga and anime, and taking those narrative designs and implementing them into their own spin of things, with a major emphasis on art being a key facet that really upped the ante and made it such a distinct feature. Because you can see that even in games like Ys, where they took bump mechanics and bump combat, that's from Ultima. Ultima 1 through 4, just bump mechanics. You're just bumping into enemies to attack them. It's so interesting. Sakura, are you excited for Gothic's remake? I'm curious. Ultima Wizardry are on my backlog too. Ever since I learned they were the inspiration to some JRPGs. Absolutely, Simon. I would say that Ultima 1 through 3 are not necessarily mandatory, but Ultima 4 I think is definitely so. Monomol says Gothic 1 is being released on the Switch of all things. The remaster is apparently on the way. If you buy any Gothic game on Steam, you can play the teaser. Interesting. I gotta get into it. I hear so many good things about Gothic, and I've never played it, and I knew nothing of it, which is really not typical for me.
Since when were you a merchant, Tobias?
The fight left me after our little foray into Morrowind. It's been sweet commerce ever since.
Oh man, Magi Mistaken says, Wizardry is amazing. I recently played a game in the vein of that, but it wasn't great. Might be cool if you like games where you map out dungeons yourself too, though. Absolutely, I love making maps. I play text adventure games. Like, I love making maps. Jungu says, weren't a couple of Ultima games free on GOG? Yes. They would be the Ultima spin-off games. They were set in really wild locales, like Mars and the Amazon. It's interesting. And Ultima 4, I think, also. But yeah. Alright, sorry.
I've not returned to
Morrowind
since then.
Who'd want to? All that ash and fire. Those dark elves can keep their curse.
This is like 4 years before Morrowind comes out.
Which reminds me, Governor Richten has a little sting of his own from those parts. His lieutenant is a dark elf. Watch out for that one. Always close by the governor, hiding in his shadow.
Which means he's got plenty of room to maneuver.
That's the stuff I'm talking about. Monomol says Gothic is well worth your time. There's a feeling playing those games you can't get anywhere else. And that's what you look for when you try to play games. Again, something novel. We've talked about my values before multiple times. Novelty is important to me. It is the most valuable thing. After playing so many games, novelty is really important. And why I kind of look back into more retro games is because novelty is everywhere. Because there was no handbook on how you make your games. And so everybody is doing whatever they feel like and just throwing darts at a dartboard just to see what sticks. And that makes for some really interesting, but albeit most of the time very flawed games. Ultima Underworld 1 and 2, Ultima Worlds of Adventure 2, Ultima 4, and Worlds of Ultima The Savage Empire were all the free ones. Yeah, oh my gosh. Manuel says, retro PC games especially, there's some wild stuff out there. Absolutely, Manuel, this is why I'm making that a major facet. I'm making a big shift over into this.
Watch yourself.
Is it safe to talk here?
Is it safe to talk here? You guys have been talking for a long time, guys.
Dreekius can be trusted as much as any walking lizard can be. It might get a little
oh yeah.
All the forebears around.
Manuel, I beat Lords of Magic, the first one. I have the second one ready to go because of FMV stuff. Well, lurk away, Magic, by the way. Yes, sorry. Thank you for the raid. Lurk away, please. Lurking's always welcome. No one always has to sit here and engage with all of their time and attention. That's never the intent.
The barkeep is a long way from Black Marsh, isn't he?
That's right.
And thank you for coming.
It's kept me good company in my wait for you. Trust it well after I leave, for it knows this island and all who live here. But don't bother asking about the Eye, because I already
The Eye.
Dreekius knows of the Eye of Argonia?
It's got the skin for it, wouldn't you say? I'll find the thing yet, and before you, if I get my way.
Another soft skin with dreams of the priceless king's jewel of ancient Black Marsh. You look this sort too, all sword and swagger. Tobias, he describes you well.
So the Eye of Argonia.
But Cyrus here must save that adventure
a
for
planned
another day.
sequel.
He's got a sister to find. I've told him that you will help him after I depart, Lizard. So mark me well.
Whatever you say.
So the Eye of Argonia was supposed to be the sequel, where Cyrus is off searching for the Eye of Argonia, which leads to like the lost city. It's like a lost city of Argonia kind of thing.
Do you think Azara chose sides in the Civil War, and that is why she has disappeared?
Your family's always been...
Sorry, I've been spending like 20 minutes in this one conversation. I'm so sorry. Because I love talking about games.
Still held her old allegiances, even if you haven't. Few crowns in Stros Makai survived the battle with the Imperials, but I know Azara was one of them.
How?
Hearing of the defeat of the crowns caused me much concern. When I arrived, I searched for word of Azara's safety. The only ones here who knew of her said that she had disappeared shortly after the Imperials landed.
Dreamco says, one of my friends that was into Elder Scrolls Oblivion introduced me to Albert Odyssey, the second RPG I ever played. Ended up getting a Sega Saturn for it. I've played and beat Albert Odyssey. I had a Sega Saturn. I actually sold that game recently, sadly, because it helped me put a down payment on a house, because Sega Saturn games are ridiculously expensive. Owned Albert Odyssey as a kid and played it, loved it. That music is so fantastic. That music is some of the best.
I see the harbor is already arrayed in the flags of the Emperor, and that his men walk the streets as if born to them.
Stros Makai's a dangerous port these days. There's an empire to be built, you know, and Tiber Septim shows no sign of slowing its increase from here to the edge of the world map. High Rock's border kings bent knee to the Cyrodiil long ago.
Ooh.
Even my father's fair Skyrim is adorned with flags of red dragons and foreign men. We are entering a new era, I fear, with Septim's name writ long and wide upon it.
I love this, right? He's talking about, you know, because at this point, this is the spread of the Empire. This is 400 years before Arena. And, like, him being a Nord and everybody bowing the knee.
Any kind words for our new Emperor?
He is good at what he does, and sees the holes lesser men leave wide. No offense to your Prince Ator, of course.
Hammerfell's problems are her own. I was only asking if Septim was the tyrant they say.
Of course he is. Tyranny means never having to say you're sorry. But Izara's fate has nothing to do with the Emperor, I'm sure. Look to the Provisional Governor if you suspect Imperial entanglements. He's the real tyrant around here. How long were you in Wayrest, Cyrus?
Long enough to piss off the locals.
A bay ride from Sentinel. Close enough for you to hear about Prince Ator, then.
Yes, of late the criers are tripping over each other. There's so much to report of the blistery sound.
The blistery sound.
You listen to it all, I'm sure.
Fine, recount all word of Prince Ator that I have shamefully ignored.
When his father died and the capital of Sentinel was taken over by the Forebears, the prince fled back here to his ancestral home of Stros Makai.
Regale me with all the
After rallying
events.
the crowns to his stead, he made for the throne again and had it near. That's when the Empire came. Through a Forebear
Oh my gosh.
truce
Exposition.
no one expected. Again, the prince was forced back to Stros Makai, which he died defending. He will not long be forgotten. Lizard, another drink.
Another drink.
What were the terms of the Forebear truce?
Originally, the Empire was to lend its armies to the Forebear cause in return for a swath of holding titles along the southeast border. But when Baron Volag disappeared during the arse end of the war, all bets were off. A new treaty was formed, which garrisoned those Imperial armies in the cities.
Until such a time as the native rulership can see fit to reinstate itself safely on its rightful throne.
Something like that, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Something like that. The Forebears, to give you context also, the Forebears are the, when Yokuda, the home island, the home continent of the Redguards, kind of went into disaster and sunk into the sea. The Forebears were the first to land onto Hammerfell and subjugate everybody there before the crowns came in and then, you know, set up shop. So they were like the first line.
Septim's no Cyrodiil from what I've heard, though he ruled their remnants and rebuilt their empire. He's something worse or greater, depending on your disposition to the center.
Something worse or greater depending on your disposition to the center of the sun.
The Cyrodiil throne. Then how did he make it his?
come on. For the last 400 years, the petty kings of Cyrodiil have been squabbling over the title of Emperor, all claiming forebearance. Imperial throne's blood's thinner than a sea dream and half as wet.
I love this dialogue.
He took the throne as he took your peoples.
Hail the new conqueror.
There's a good little subject.
I love this dialogue. Petty Kings of
You used to
Cyrodiil.
hire out to those petty kings, did you not?
20 years ago, maybe, when the whole heart of Tamriel was in chaos. I can admire Tiber Septim insofar that he has managed to consolidate the rags and tatters that bickered there then.
No empire is a good thing, Captain.
There's a Redguard for you.
Oh, sure thing, sure thing. One second. Whoop. You're gonna have to hear some quiet. Just a minute. Try to turn it up. The music is always so much louder.
So the Nord kings have submitted to Tiber Septim too.
They do not worry over much. They have outlasted empires before, and this conquest will be no different. Hammerfell
I'll turn down the
has
music
been the
once we're done with
bloodiest
conversations.
invasion of current record. And by comparison, Skyrim's occupation seemed like a ballet.
Do you know if Azara fought in the Battle of Stros Makai?
My investigations were limited, I'll admit. If she fought, I can't say. But I would guess that she did. The battle was the penultra of the crowns, and all who subscribed to the name no doubt took up arms. While most of them were slain at sea, others have been taken prisoner by the governor.
Tell me about the
so much
provisional
to
governor,
learn.
Captain.
When I arrived, his soldiers showed me the finer points of Richton's new docking tax and scoured my ship for leaguesmen. I must say he's a bit of an asshole. You'd better watch yourself around him.
He's a bit of an asshole. Don't mind
So
him.
why aren't you in jail?
Meaning why aren't said soldiers in little boxes at the foot of the palace gate? Because I didn't come to port to get myself in trouble, but to get your sister out.
Should I look into seeing this governor then?
That's where I'd look, laddie.
Oh, shit. Ad break. All right. Whoa. Okay, we're back. Woo! Why aren't you in jail? Because let me tell you, Mean Gene, these 24 pythons are coming for the guards, brother. We're learning more.
Could she be in jail?
More
Haven't exactly
exposition.
knocked on the door to find out. That's your job now. But I know the jail's off limits to non-Imperials. Now, read no visitors whatsoever.
We'll see about that.
We'll see about that. Oh, he's mad.
Imperial expansion has been feared for years. Why wasn't Hammerfell better prepared?
Factional squabbles, divided councils,
Miscalculations.
Crowns lost heart when they lost the capital. Forebears lost their heads completely when they welcomed the Empire's friendship and aid.
So the Empire played the forebears pretty well, eh?
What else is a visionary with an open invitation to do?
Yeah.
The forebears are having futile second thoughts now, no doubt. Probably why they're so bitter and driven to bar
To
brawl.
bar brawls, you say. Oh my god, so much.
What of the crowds?
So much exposition. 2
Not
days
too many
later.
left around here. The few that are don't admit it to just anyone. Talk to Siona, a friend of mine. You may have seen her down by the docks. Tell her I sent you, so she'll know you're no Imperial stoolie. She may be able to help you.
Ooh, Siona.
How have the forebears fared under Septim's rule?
The throne of Sentinel is kept warm by another Imperial governor. That should be indication enough.
How is the city of Sentinel? I never returned.
For long my men plied the Iliac, and Sentinel was along the run. That's how I came to know that Izara moved from there to here. I kept up with her for your sake. If even it were a dream to think anything would come of it. When Volag's purge ignited through the north, I went there seeking to help her. But she was already gone. Later, I learned she'd come to Stros Mackay.
What was
Purge.
Volag's purge?
When Thassad died, Baron Volag led the forebears into an uprising for control of the capital. All crowns were forced to leave Sentinel after that first massacre. Your sister was among those that followed the prince here to Stros Mackay to plan the counterattack. I swear, Cyrus, are you always such a lame brain when it comes to word of recent Hammerfell?
Yes.
I've come to cultivate a certain indifference about the homeland.
And this is a good thing?
So his character is in question.
Again.
She was your sister, Cyrus.
I was probably miles away.
A proximity often and on purpose, I'd suspect.
Cheers.
Well, you're here
I
now.
love the characterization. Oh my god, it keeps going. I love the characterization of both, like, why is he asking all these questions? Yeah, because he killed his sister's husband, who was a forebear. And, it's wild, like, this kind of reminds me of the Ultima 9 conversations, like, what's a paladin? But here, like, it makes a lot more sense. And they also call you out on this
Assad
stuff.
II, so storied in song, it was unwise to invest the Republic on one man.
The forebears are over there, Cyrus, if you want the company to match the sentiment.
No, it's just... I mean, he was dying when I was still a young kid. We Redguards were only waiting for it to happen. My father kept his profession in one hand and a whetstone in the other. We knew that civil war would come. If Assad was so great, why didn't he do more in his life to protect the kingdom after his death?
Ooh.
Some things have to be left for the sun.
The head of the forebears is a subject of the Empire now.
Or subject to the Empire's execution from spake of it. He disappeared the day Stros Mackay was taken, and Sentinel lay in a similar state.
Interesting.
Provisional governors rule both cities now.
Cool. I think I got everything.
I'll be back. If you're not here,
That's a lot. Oh my
Thanks,
gosh.
Edison. Good luck.
So much
Just
talk.
find your sister and get out of here. And send word through Stratra. Go on. You'll do fine.
Okay,
What
let's.
will it be, traveler?
We'll talk to Dreekius here in just a second. We gotta talk to these guys.
Excuse me.
Hey, looky, Dagu. A crown come out of hiding.
That's so. Hey, Crown. Be good and bring us another round, eh?
I hear you crowns think you're real brave dagger lads.
I'm a dagger
Wanna
lad.
test yourself against a real swordsman?
I'm a brave dagger
I'm
lad.
sick of chit-chat, little Crown boy. Pull that blade out if you know how, or leave me alone.
I gotta get, like, there has to be some kind of, like, nameplate. Just dagger lad. Challenge will fight.
Stand and draw then, gentlemen.
Gentlemen.
Take him, boys.
Let's get into a fight. Come on. Come on. Thank you.
Take that, Dag.
Cyrus! Pick on someone your own size.
Gentlemen, take it outside,
Mine
please.
now.
Ooh, careful of the fixture, Cyrus.
No, he's unarmed.
Come here, boy.
Keep away from me, lad. Spill my ale.
gotta get out of the way
and
there.
you'll regret
Land
it.
here.
Oh, blood.
Break
He's
it. You
quick
pay
with it.
for it.
Come on, Cyrus. Stop playing with him.
Same old rule.
Ah. Point up, lad, and move him.
Haven't you people anything else?
A bit out of shape, are we?
Bit out of shape, yes.
Best right.
Is that the best you've got?
Gentlemen, take it outside.
Getting old and slow, mate.
No, he's unarmed.
Slice him good.
No, he's unarmed.
Cyrus!
We just cleaned the place.
No, he's unarmed.
I'm not trying to attack him. I'm trying to attack my boy.
Come on. Break it. You pay for it.
Keep away from me, lad. Spill my
He's
ale,
quick with
and
it.
you'll regret it.
Aye, no more.
Same old rules, boys. No face, no groin.
There we go.
Cyrus.
Stab him good. Come on. No. There we go. There we go. Hey, Drinkies, how's it going, buddy?
Say, laddie.
What will it be, traveler?
Weeble! Redguard! How's it going, Weeble? It's so good to see you.
Barkeep, well met. I'm Cyrus.
I know. I had Tobias made out a fool to believe you'd come.
How you been, Weeble? Yeah, we're gonna go through Redguard. We're gonna beat this game.
I'm the one that smuggled his letter out for him.
Fingers crossed.
The Empire's been watching all shipments from this port. I figured our chances were slim.
Drinkies.
Many thanks, then.
Welcome
More
to
exposition.
the Dragon Tail. By the way, thesis-bound
Dragon
citizens
Tail.
of mine, where there is good ear and ale co-equal. What can I do for you?
Thesis-bound subsistence
A
of
drink
mine.
might be nice. I'll use your ears later, maybe.
Ever ready to listen, soft skin? Let adventure thine be mine. I'll share what thoughts I can.
I cannot stress enough how much, like, yeah, I get it that, like, there's so much dialogue in this game, but the dialogue is killer.
What can you tell me about Azara?
The dialogue is killer.
The Imperials came,
Voice acting, not so
and
much.
I let her out through the window. I haven't seen her since.
The occupation, it seems, is taking long to consolidate, with the League about and the Imperials still hunting for wayward crowns.
Hammerfell's the defiant line of the human race still. They say some still fight the Empire on the mainland.
Is thus the Empire delayed in further expansion?
The whole wild world, the elf kingdoms, and the beastlands
Have you played this, Weeble?
waits to see what finally happens here in the last land of men. A word of advice. Beware the dragon tribe of the Emperor. The warrior king Tiber Septim
The
does not
dragon
tolerate
tribe
rebellion.
of the Emperor.
And Governor Rickton has promised summary execution to any who take arms to oppose his rule.
Wouldn't dream of it, unless he's responsible for my sister's disappearance.
Even if you were responsible, perhaps it would be wise to proceed cautiously.
Cautiously, eh? If only I knew how to do that.
Where's the money in that?
You said the Imperials came here looking for Azara the last night you saw her.
Not specifically for Azara. The Imperials had a list of dissidents they sought. Her name was there, with names of many other crowns. Since that time, I see only forebears here.
Earl asks, how do you think Jessica Rabbit would fare in this epic world? Not well. She would not survive
The
a day.
forebears seem to enjoy your place.
The Imperial liquor tax has forced me to serve everyone, even the city's ancestral villains.
Even this city's ancestral villains.
Tell me about the crowns.
Their fire is gone since the prince was lost. Few show their faces in Strosmichai. Some have passed to the mainland. Some few plot and scheme still, nursing fading dreams.
Nursing fading dreams.
What do you think of the Restless League?
A human tribe of ill account, but whose single-mindedness is something I can fathom. Their raids upset my smuggling operation.
Ooh, smuggling operation.
And off thus my fair nature. Valenwood wine's hard to come by, you see, but over that, I have nothing worse to say.
You sympathize with the League, then?
Oh no, I merely noted their clannish drives, which any Argonian might admire. Being used, as we are, to honor the clan's interests about our own private affairs.
Interesting.
How then does an Argonian manage to leave his tribe to wander Tamriel?
You refer to me? I do not wander, Redguard. This is a settled study for me, from which I'll add to the wealth of wisdoms when I return to my clan.
I love this stuff. I love this stuff. We learn, because, like, this is the first time Argonian kind of culture and Argonian, like, just nature starts to take hold in this. This is, like, the first one. Again, Redguard is the game where the Elder Scrolls just starts to really explode with ideas and this more alien nature, which is so awesome. How much wisdom can be gleaned from drunken adventurers? Oh, so much, Earl.
I myself was a victim of these raids.
More obstacle, I'd suspect, than victim. The raids had ended, it seemed, but your mischance may be token of renewed troubles the sailors speak of. The League is marshalling anew its forces, or so the rumor goes.
Some second battle of Strosmakai?
True, it sounds unlikely, but they are dagger lads, the Restless League, and they vow to make war again.
How have the denizens of Black Marsh resisted the Empire so long?
1,000 miles of swamp, bog, and stink aren't attractive to most humans. And terror of the Kanatan flu still holds most at bay. But our days of testing will come.
Interesting.
What's your subject of study?
Here you go.
The other, of course. Those ones not skinned in scale. We see that Septine's tribes will not be long satisfied with the thrones of men and the elder race. One day they will come to Black Marsh. Argonians have lost land once before, when we did not know our enemy.
I see, and what better place to learn the wants of men than at the bar?
Indeed.
There are other places. Universities, the military, the magical guild. But I aim to chart man's geography of desire, which is most readily charted when he is drunk and blathering.
Simon goes, were Argonians just never explained in Arena, Daggerfall, and Morrowind? It's just, hey, here's a lizard man, deal with it. Yes. In Arena, I don't even believe they were lizard men. I think they were just people. Tajit were, for sure. Tajit weren't cat people. They were just people. And that didn't take into consideration that until Daggerfall and on. And in some cases, like in the Elder Scrolls Battlespire, they're not even an option to play as. You can't even play as any of the Khajiit or Argonians.
Is this your first visit to Stras Machai?
Aye, but the occupation makes it seem less so. With the Imperial standards aloft at port, it seems like any other vassal town of Cyrodiil.
But for the unrest of Blackblood?
The only blood I care about is my sister's. As far as I'm concerned, new Kingless Hammerfell has gone its way.
Your apathy is decidedly reptilian.
Your apathy is decidedly reptilian.
I don't know how to take that coming from you.
Your apathy is decidedly reptilian.
What are you talking about?
This tavern, of course, both site and subsidy of my studies, as well as a fine storehouse of spirits.
Yeah, we already talked about that. Okay, Brawl.
Sorry about the swordplay.
Keep it just play, and I'll not mind if it even happen again. The forebears have their troubles, so it's no surprise they come here looking to share them.
It was good practice.
Practice as often as you like, save for the death blow. And mind the furniture, please.
And with like Arena, like they talk about like, oh, you know, Argonia is a swamp area, and Khajiit's a desert area, and that sort of stuff, right? But like they don't really go into the culture and philosophies of those people.
Hey, Drakius, I got this delivery job that'll get me into the palace for sure.
What are you going to deliver?
Some amulet meant for the governor.
Do you have it yet?
Not yet. I've got to get it at the Necromancer's Isle.
Don't forget to bring some gold to pay the boatman, Cyrus. And be careful.
Indeed.
Thanks, Drakius. I will.
All right, and that's
I'd better keep moving. Can we talk later?
Anytime.
But you even see in like the pocket guide to the Empire, that is included in this game, when they talk about places like Skyrim and places like Wayrest and stuff like this, they are described with a lot of passion and almost alien-like descriptions. When they talk about the voice in Skyrim and the power of using the voice, it's explained in a way that isn't. Oh God! Cyrus, get out of there, dude! Oh my God, I'm burning alive. They're described in a way that isn't. It seems supernatural and otherworldly compared to like what we experience in Skyrim itself, where it just seems very commonplace and very like mechanical. It's really interesting, and they talk of structures and locations that aren't in Skyrim that are otherworldly. Enormous wall barriers that are just this huge single slab of stone that spans the entire southern border of Skyrim. Like, that's not there. Alright, so we have to go to the temple to talk to the dude, but we also can just kind of explore a little bit. I got hurt a tad. Oh, let's look at this guy.
She floats through my dreams with the greatest of ease. The fat one-eyed lady with sweet-smelling
the fat one-eyed lady with sweet-smelling knees.
Name's Cyrus. You okay?
No, I'm Crendel.
Hi, Crendel. Have a wonderful night, Earl. Thank you so much for hanging out. I greatly appreciate it.
You seen a woman named Azara around?
Sure I have. Not that I remember names, though. Oh, but they remember mine. Them broads love Crendel. have my way with them all, you know.
Yeah, Simon says, but that's not there, at least not at the time the game takes place. Each game takes place many, many years apart, is it not? Time Septim is legend by the time Skyrim starts off. And dragons are nothing but legend. It's true. It's true. But there's like no remnants of these things. And they kind of talk about... But also, Simon, I'd also say that in that span of time, has technology changed or evolved? No. Like, none of this stuff has. It's just interesting that they describe these places, these people, and these kind of cultures that exist, these cults and these religious practices, the religious practices of the voices and stuff like this, the Whitebeards and stuff like this, in a way that isn't depicted in Skyrim. And they do, like, not talking and these sorts of things, absolutely. But there's so much retcon, Sakura, but it's like a retcon of the exotic. It's a retcon of the fascinating, the things that make these things alluring. Those are almost completely eradicated over what I don't know. I don't know what reason for those things.
What do you know about the group called the Restless League?
Punks. Killed them all once I did. Bunch of Redguard pansies.
Oh my.
They want me to join them, but I got too much thinking to do. Heavy load. I say. Richton's got it out for him. You watch out.
So Stros Mackay's one big party for you, eh?
Gotta drink. You gotta drink to keep sane in this place. Them sissies around here think they can make the best of it.
No.
They make nothing. Nothing. Richton's got them all scared.
Love me a good drunk. We don't have any drunks in Elder Scrolls.
You've certainly spent a lot of time at the local tavern.
Richton's got that damn lizard Drekius charging 3 gold pieces for lousy Valenwood wine. He freaks me out. Picking flies off the bar with his tongue. I can't relax with that going on.
Simon says, maybe the initial reports are just incorrect, like a 100-year-old game of telephone. What voice? No, it's called the Thuum, and it works like this. Well, I do think they actually say the Thuum as well in this, but I don't remember, I haven't read it in a while. But they'll also talk about, like, oh, the Empire is, like, the voice isn't something that is some unattainable thing, that everyone can channel this magical power within them. And there's even a point where, like, they say, like, the Emperor is training a bunch of people to bring back the military side of utilizing the Thuum and stuff like this, which never gets added to it.
You've certainly spent a lot of time at the local tavern.
Wixton's got that damn lizard Drekius charging 3 gold pieces for lousy Valenwood wine. He freaks me out.
Yeah. Multiple voices, aren't there? The good old Thuum and voice of the Emperor that calms people.
Richton doesn't have you scared?
No, sirree. I kicked his fat butt. Not throwing me in his catacombs.
You're scared of the catacombs, eh?
Didn't say that. Did not say
that.
Richton throws the crowns in jail and pirates into the catacombs. I ain't neither. Doubt his cronies could take me anyway.
Just like a drunk to blame the bartender for his troubles.
Ha! Who the heck do you blame for yours, anyway, tough guy? I know Drekius' story. Just no one else does.
No one else does.
Damned Argonians. Them dark elves got it right. Cage them up and let them haul ass.
Don't like Argonians either. Who do you like, Crendel?
Fine then, fine. Hang around that
Crendel is something.
And catch the flu.
There hasn't been a case of that in 200 years.
Yeah,
I'm
Crendel.
saying those of us who play our cards right could open a right good belt shop. Yeah.
Oh, Crendel, you asshole.
Liquor tax?
That's right. It's a real shock that sailors don't hang around anymore. Who's in charge of that one?
I've had enough.
Bye, Crendel. Good. Yeah, Grendel is something, man. Grendel is a character. A great character. Let me change the sound. I'm going to turn the music down and the sound up. There. Let's see if that fixes things. Bye, Grendel. And so, like, you go into like most of these places, like residential areas and stuff like this. There's a lot to explore in this city. I'm gonna go to the temple, though. I think this is the temple, right? Bum ba dum da dum da 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 dum. Hello, Brother Grendel. Brother Grendel. Brother, whatever his name is.
Hello,
Nigel.
brother. I'm Cyrus, recent to this shore.
Brother Nigel, good son. Welcome to the Temple of Arcade.
Can you heal me, Brother Niddle?
Please forgive the formalities, but the governor has levied a temple tax of 25 gold for any magical services rendered, healing or otherwise.
No.
Will you pay the tax?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Forget it.
I am truly sorry, but I cannot help you then.
My sister Izara has been missing for near 3 months. Perhaps you have heard of her?
I knew her well, actually. But she never mentioned having a brother.
Ooh.
She was a fiery sort, as I'm sure you know.
I do.
And her Redguard blood did not fare well under Imperial rule. She is not the only nationalist who has disappeared since the governor claimed the city. There have been others.
Of course.
What others have disappeared?
Brother Kithral, my initiate and good friend, for one. He was an outspoken man and a Crown sympathizer.
You guys were supposed to be
He
neutral.
was enamored of your sister, I must say, and took to her Crown propaganda readily. Are you a follower of RK, Cyrus?
Yes.
Me? No. Well, not in the worshipper sense.
In what sense, then?
I'm not that wayward, brother. I do believe in the gods and in their, importance to man and, all that.
All that. Yeah.
And RK's importance would be...
I'm usually the one who asks all the questions, Brother Niddle.
humor an old man.
RK, then, the shepherd of the soul who watches us through our lives and our deaths and guides us between them in the heavenly interim.
May he watch over you.
May he watch over you. Indeed. Again, the mythology of Elder Scrolls kind of starts in Daggerfall, right? And really starts to establish itself far more with its pantheon and the pantheon of like RK and all them, of the 9 divines and the Daedra and stuff like this. But here we start to see it even more kind of just be more substantiated with a little more color and flourish to it. Because Daggerfall is great and all, but Daggerfall is also very kind of cookie cutter. It's meant to be more open world and more randomly generated, quests and things like this. And so there's not a lot for kind of the more nuance of storytelling outside of the main quests.
Is there
Which I need to play
anything
more.
you
I gotta
can tell
beat
me
Daggerfall
about the
today.
Restless League, brother?
I know very little about their activities, Cyrus. The common stories, sure, but not much more.
Lion.
I know even less of the League than you, brother. The common stories included.
Then know that they are ruffians and cutthroats who would like nothing more than carve their symbol upon the Emperor's eyes for daring to set them on Hammerfell. And know they secretly served the prince against the forebears during the Civil War to help Ator win back Sentinel.
What is the League's symbol?
The red R, for restless
And
as
Redguard.
they ever are. Trust me, you will see it if you stay in Stros Makai for long, invariably written in Imperial blood.
Interesting.
Sentinel, the capital city.
From whence Ator was forced to flee soon after his father died. Aye, but the crowns gathered here at Stros Makai and charged northwards to take their throne city back. But by then, the Imperial bargain had been struck.
How is Stros Makai these days, Brother Niddle?
You should be able to see it just from the faces on the streets, my boy. But then again, there aren't that many faces out there anymore. Things have become quiet since the occupation.
I have seen the Empire expanding into all of Tamriel in my travels. Why is the occupation of Stros M'Kai full of more bloodshed than most?
You have only your Redguard blood to answer that, my boy. When has Hammerfell ever suffered foreign rule? The Civil War was bloody, to be sure, but when the forebears allied with the Empire, the crowns felt they had been betrayed by their own kind. They were prepared to fight to the last man, and the Empire sent Admiral Richten to make sure they did.
Yep.
Tell me of the forebears.
Living in Stros M'Kai, you only get the crown definition.
Only the crown definition.
That the forebears were the pretenders to the throne, that they betrayed the Republic, and that Hammerfell has been cursed by their cowardice.
I mean, here's the thing. The forebears went into Hammerfell first and cleared everything out. You'd think they would be able to have it, right?
Azara was a crown, I know that. As a crown, what would be her fate?
I fear, sadly, that the crown's days are ended. The forebears' alliance with Emperor Septim made sure of that.
What else do you know about Richten?
That you should stay away from him, my boy.
He's an asshole.
He will not care if you are a crown or not, should he find out that you are Azara's brother. However, you are probably safe in the city for the time being, as he never leaves the palace.
It seems.
I escaped Hammerfell just before the Civil War, and without regret. That is probably why Azara never mentioned me to you. Well, it was through a mutual friend that I learned of her disappearance.
I killed her husband.
The war cost this city much, Cyrus. Though an outsider may not see it, the crowns are gone now, and only the League remains as their testament.
My gosh, there's so much.
The temple seems very empty, Brother Niddle. Are you its only priest?
We have ever been understaffed. It was horrible right after the battle. All the dead and dying. But luckily, I had Brother Kithral to help me tend to them. Since he is gone now, I must carry on alone.
What can you tell me about the governor?
That he is a hard man. Richten threatened to raise the temple when I refused to hand over the wounded of Prince Ator, who had survived the battle. I assured him that even his emperor could not defy divine law. Nevertheless, the wounded under my care were healed only to be thrown into the catacombs thereafter.
I just also like that NPCs have commentary about what's kind of going on. You don't get that in a game like Skyrim. The only thing that they have to really kind of talk about is related to the quest that they want to give you, or related to a direction of where a quest will be. There's so very little conversation about from like normal people in those areas to really talk about it, outside of like the weird ones where they kind of two NPCs kind of butt into each other and then have a little like small talk. Just not the same.
What of Prince Ator?
He was lost at sea, my boy. That is all I know. And that it was rumored that Azara knew him personally.
He knows more. He knows more.
So my sister knew the prince then?
Leave that alone, boy. That was but a rumor.
Did my sister fight in the Battle of Stros M'Kai?
No, she was never part of the military. She could have been, though. She was good with a sword, I hear.
What is the divine law?
Richten wanted to rescind the crown's right to sanctuary while they were wounded, or to desecrate the bodies of the enemy dead before I gave them their last rites.
So Ator's men are in the catacombs, then?
Either that, or they are fruit for the necromancer.
Fruit for
It
the
is somehow
necromancer.
appropriate that Richten deals with that nefarious slug.
I eat this talk. Fruit for the necromancer. That is just, give me that dialogue some more. Do we have so many skeletons walking around the Elder Scrolls? Exactly, Simon. Fruit for the necromancer. Oh, the way they describe that is so...
What happened to the bodies of Ator's men after their last rites?
Food for the dragon, more than likely.
Food for the dragon.
But at least
Food for
their
the necromancer.
souls are safe from the necromancer.
The Imperials have a dragon?
Its name is Nephalalagus, and it lives in the catacombs, or so I have heard. It has not been seen in the skies since the battle, so maybe Richten is lying about it still being around.
What about this necromancer?
Nagasta has been here long, manifest in Tassad's good rule. Ator had kept his wretchedness at bay, but now, with the prince gone, he has cursed the land.
Ooh, we gotta get something from him.
How has Nagasta cursed the land?
The very soil of Strosmakai is cursed. Nagasta has become very powerful and has weaved a soul snare across the island. Any who die must quickly have their last rites performed before their souls become his to claim.
Cyrus says, my favorite bit of the Elder Scrolls lore was from one of the novels, when the Daedra were opening the Oblivion Gates all over Nirn. When the gates opened in the Black Marsh, armies of Argonians were just waiting in formation, prepared, drove the Daedra back, and counter-invaded, forcing the Daedra to close the gates themselves to stop from being overrun. Oh, Simon says Soul Snare, like that soul-stealing spell that lets you fill your soul gems. Exactly, Simon. That's exactly it, but it's one that is a larger scale. Sakura, there was an unreleased PSP game called The Elder Scrolls Travels Oblivion that talks about, that takes place in High Rock during the time of Oblivion and what was happening there with the gates opening and stuff. The hiss let them know what was up. Exactly. Sakura, of course. I love that stuff too. And like, we'll never get it. We're never gonna get an Elder Scrolls game set in Argonia. We're never gonna get a game that's set in elsewhere. We're never gonna get it. Why? And even in those moments when they visit those places in Elder Scrolls Online, they're so sterile. They're so sterile. Simon says there's only so many provinces left, right? But Simon, there's also Akavir. Like, they can go back to what little is left of the Redguard homeland, like Yokudo. Simon says there was a decent Elder Scrolls Online expansion, but yeah, fan games are always possible. Dream Goof, yeah, I mean, there are so many they haven't explored in any meaningful way. And Sakura, you nailed it there. You nailed it there. In any meaningful way. You have such a wide swath of untapped potential that is filled with... They have all of this stuff that is so inventive, so unique, so evocative. And what they decide to do is, let's just stick with white people, dragons. And it's just like, stop.
Do you know anyone that Azara may have kept company with, vanished nationalist or otherwise?
Like I said, I knew her well, and she spoke often to Brother Kithral, my former initiate, but he...
Let's go to the catacombs to find Brother Kithral.
She was a devout Archaean, Isara. I once almost convinced her to join the temple, but that was before she... well...
Before she what?
Before she what, Brother Niddle?
Well, man, before she vanished.
I trust that you will seek me out if you hear anything more of my sister.
I will be honest, Cyrus. She is either dead or worse. For I know she would not have left Strosmakai even after Ator's defeat. Richten had a list of rebels when he took the throne, and Isara's name was undoubtedly upon it.
Simon says, who and who precisely develops Elder Scrolls? Is it the precise same team that does Fallout 4, Fallout 76, and Starfield? Fallout 76 I don't think is the case. Fallout 76 was kind of like a little side team. It wasn't the same people as did like Fallout 4 and Starfield. Those guys, I believe, worked on the Elder Scrolls as well. Like, those ones are the Elder Scrolls team.
Why the temple tax?
Just another of Richten's rules, my boy, along with several other solutions to the burden of empire.
When did you last see Kithral?
I sent him to the park for fresh mandrake root, and that is probably where Richten's men were waiting. Kithral was against the Imperial expansion from the start, though I reminded him that Archay frowns on more secular interests.
Secular interests?
This warning Kithral obviously did not take to heart.
Until later, Brother Niddle.
Goodbye, my son.
But yeah, when I talk about Elder Scrolls, like, there's nothing stopping the Elder Scrolls 7 elsewhere, or the Elder Scrolls Black Marsh. Simon, I don't believe it. I don't. I just don't think they will. And when they do, it's not going to be anything outside of, like, you're now in a desert. You're now in a swamp area. And it's going to play like Skyrim. Like, that's it. I'm very pessimistic about the future of Elder Scrolls, because from Oblivion onward, things just, they're not bad mechanically, they're just boring. They're just boring. Uninteresting. I talk about bland. Yeah, they're just bland. Setting-wise. Bland in its execution. Hi, lady.
Well, that's strange.
This lady has the worst voice. Oh, this one's bad.
Excuse me, miss. Can I have a word?
Yes, my name's Mariah. What can I do for you?
I'm so sorry for Mariah. Hi, Mariah.
Do you know of a woman named Izara?
I used to see her around, but that was a while ago. Last time
Biddy, how's it going? This is Mariah. I'm so sorry that you come in, Mariah.
She was headed toward the cartographers. Never saw her again. And that was 3 months ago, if it were a day.
Oh, snap, cartographer.
Any idea how I can get into the palace?
Richten doesn't take to uninvited guests.
Red Dream Goof? Oh my goodness.
And there's no way to sneak in that I've heard of.
So, like, I can literally tell you the exact moment for me that I felt that the Elder Scrolls was starting to take a turn. And that exact moment is when you see the Moth Priests in Oblivion. They're described in the Pocket Guide to the Empire included in this game, and the way that they are described is so antithetical to what you actually experience in Oblivion, and in a way that is just so uninteresting. Simon says, how many subs would that take? Oh wait, so many. Mariah sounds like a cutesy Powerpuff Girl character. I know, right? Yeah, similar to what they did with Outer Worlds. It's not right. I think you're right. It's going to be kind of like that. Outer Worlds is fine. It's fine. I just...
What do you know about this Restless League group?
They scare me, frankly. They've been around since the days of Facade, and no one seems to know much about them.
The cadence...
They seem to remain as quiet as possible. Not like your usual pirates. There's something else to them.
And what does life hold for you in Stros Macaque?
Not as much as it used to. Spend my days landscaping. Before the Civil War, there were more of us. The town square and the park was so beautiful.
The town square and the park was so beautiful.
I do what I can.
I I don't know what she is going for. It is madness is what she's going for.
I'm surprised Rickton even allows such a practice to continue.
City beautification may not be one of Lord Rickton's concerns, but he still needs to put on the right air. Should his Emperor, Tiber Septim, ever check up on him?
I think she's trying to go for like a country
the
bumpkin.
Garden's full and the smell of success in the air.
Don't you know?
Wars have never been good to a city.
Especially not this one.
Oh my god.
First, Ator and the Crowns defeat the forebears, then the Empire comes rolling in.
The witch from Princess Bride. There you go.
But these walls can handle.
She's just so enthusiastic about everybody being killed.
I can only assume you are a crown.
That I am, though not as passionate as many others. I'm glad the war's over, really. Life goes on, and times change. I'll try to keep our
I can't.
as fair as she can be.
I love this lady very much. She's very special.
You sound as though you bear no grudge to the Forebears or the Empire for that matter.
The forebears claim
Forebears. Who's the cute little forebear?
While the Crowns trace their lineage to the first rulers. It's been that way for generations. And Tiber Septim tried, where many have failed, to unite the world of Tamriel.
This lady is something so special.
The cartographers. I wonder what she would want there.
Hopefully she was just seeing Michael, the mapmaker, and not the boys in the smuggler's den below.
I knew this one streamer who was also a kindergarten teacher. It kind of bled into her stream. Maybe Mariah's a teacher too. Maybe.
Where's the park?
Over by the waterfall. I'm ashamed you didn't notice. I have to spend more time on it.
Oh my gosh.
I really do enjoy it. Especially that arcade boy, Kithral.
Kithral's dead.
What were you saying about Kithrel?
He's one of the temple members. Love the park. Would stare at the waterfall and write in his journal. Passionate crown. That one.
Oh my. She was banging Brother Kithral, man.
Seen him in months.
What would be the equivalent of kindergarten in this world? I have no idea. Is there any other kind of Terra Strong? Yeah, right?
What do you know about the smuggler's den?
Below the cartographers. I've seen all sorts coming in and out of there. Even so-called league members.
How does this lady know this? She's like, I know there's a smuggler's den with lots of league members down there.
Didn't end up there.
And I know all of the things, but I'm not gonna tell the governor, even though I work for him. Well, let's go to the Mages Guild. She did voice Bubbles in the Powerpuff Girls, yes. Mages Guild. Hello? Keep out until further notice, and by order of the provincial governor, Stros Mackay, Lord Admiral Rickman, no one may enter this area. I mean, I could. Could if I wanted to. This warrior from Hammerl doesn't have a curved sword. It's true.
Excuse me, are you the Archmage?
We got ourselves a rapier, baby. I have much to do. No way this one entered the area. Yeah. We're gonna get it. We're gonna go in. Hello. Oh, God. No. No, no, no. Can you please? No. Other way, Cyrus. Thank you. My God. Sorry about that. Sorry about
that.
I have a very
stranger.
premature sword.
Welcome to the Mages Guild of Stros Mackay, fully chartered since 638 CE. I'm the resident shopkeeper hereabouts.
Huh, this is
Feel
a
free to
familiar
look
voice.
around, but remember, everything is guild property. If there's anything you'd like to buy, just let me know.
A familiar sounding voice. Where have I heard that one?
I'm looking for a young woman named Azara.
I wonder.
The name is not familiar, sir. Might she have been a member of the guild?
Dream Goose says, in Elder Scrolls Oblivion, my friend would knock NPCs unconscious. I'm not sure.
I doubt it, but she may have been.
My apprenticeship here has lasted several years, and I haven't met any member named Azara yet, but who knows? Many members of the Upper Cabal are of the secretive sort.
The Upper Cabal.
Do you know anything about the Restless League?
I'm afraid not. The Mages Guild tries to stay out of the lesser politics.
This seems more like a wood elf, right? She got the wood elf, it sounds more wood elfy.
What kind of town is Stros Makai?
I'm too busy studying to pay it much mind. Plus, with the Empire here, the streets feel kind of dangerous.
So you never leave the guild?
If you want to know the truth, wide open spaces kind of make me nervous. Many wood elves are like that, you know.
They miss the canopy of the Valenwood trees.
Our second sky, the middle green. Let's just say
sky,
I don't wander around in Stros Makai enough to know that much about it.
There you go. Doesn't need to be put in there. You don't need to be like, oh, wood elves are kind of creeped out by open spaces, because we like the canopy of our home. The middle sky.
How old is the Mages Guild?
This one? Or the institution itself? This one is fairly new, 200 years and a fourth more. Modern magics came late to Hammerfell.
Redguards have strong traditions.
But even they took finally to the notion of a more controlled and conscious auspice for magic. The Mages Guild was a reaction to the mass hedgery of old when magic was wild and unbalanced.
How very modern for an elf.
When you're a student, you embrace the institutional line if you want to graduate.
That's the thing, Simon, right? We haven't gotten into gameplay yet, so you haven't seen that stuff yet. But when we talk about dialogue and world building and just style, they're in spades.
How long do you have to be an apprentice, Ms.
Felicia, and it's been way too long. I think the guild has a prejudice against elves based on the fact that we live so long, and have the potential of reaching heights no human wizard could ever dream for, unless he goes the rotting way, which so many do. But I guess I'm just being bitter. One day I'll make Archmage, and maybe none too soon, considering there's an opening now.
So, not meant to be a comedy, Mitty, but there are definitely jokes, for sure. I'm counting this as gameplay. Dialogue is just as important as, yes.
Who is the Archmage?
Human named Jagenveer, a real hard case. Doesn't really have enough secrets to be Archmage. But the last one was killed at the Battle of Stros Makai, so there was a vacuum to fill.
Well, no, sometimes there is sometimes intentional hilarity. There is for sure. Hey, Puzzle Bitter! Why does this guy's voice sound so cool and the girl sound like a squirrel? Well, she's a wood elf, but also this voice actress is not necessarily good. She played a character earlier that we saw that is nails on a chalkboard in the most unbearable way. It's amazing. Yeah, this guy, of course, he voices all Redguards in all the Elder Scrolls games except for Skyrim.
Do you think Jagenveer knows anything about Azara?
Wouldn't tell you if he did. He doesn't talk to mundane, and he's too busy studying for the Battlespire to be seen lately.
The Battlespire, which also came out at the same time.
What's the Battlespire?
A war college set up by the Empire to test its battle mages. An elite mages guild, really. Archmage Jagenveer's got his sights on the Battlespire recently, though why anybody would want to hang out with those losers is beyond me.
Especially when those losers all get completely murdered.
What happened to the last Archmage?
Well, as Redguard blood got the better of him, he died in the Battle of Stros Makai, fighting alongside the Prince.
The Mages Guild helped the Crowns in the battle?
Not the Mages Guild, just former Archmage Voa. He was a nationalist as well as a guild member and couldn't help himself. Got killed for mundane politics.
Mundane politics.
Maybe I could speak to somebody in the Upper Cabal.
Sure, you'll be right after me. As soon as you get 10 years of apprenticeship under your belt and can cast an alter reality spell. The new Archmage Jagenveer, he doesn't talk to nobody. And we make everybody else in the guild do likewise, except for me, since I run the shop.
This lady's voice is so weird. It's just so...
Has the Empire interfered with the Mages Guild yet?
Of that I'm not at liberty to say. Let's just say Archmage Jackenbeer is trying to stay on their good side. He's got his greedy eyes on the battle spire.
It is saccharine is the best way to say it. Saccharine.
What's for sale?
Magical potions
Yes,
of
I'm
all
with you,
sorts.
Sakura.
What potions do you have?
Healing potions, strength potions, and potions of iron skin.
Healing potions, please.
I'll take a healing potion.
Okay,
Saccharine.
that'll be 25 gold.
I'll take one.
Thanks.
Okay, goodbye.
Thanks for your help.
The name's Felicia. I'll be here.
Thanks, Felicia.
Thanks yourself.
Come on, were you hitting on me, Felicia? That's not okay. Hold on, I'm gonna save. B and E. Bandy. Hold on. B and E. Can I do that? Yes. Perfect. Goodbye, bye, Felicia. Let's see, can I? Oh.
Sure smells like orc's blood.
Examine orc's blood.
A piece of amber. Volumes on the art of magic. I would never have the patience.
This is why he also has like a walk.
What's a wizard without a crystal ball? This horn looks to be from a unicorn.
Unicorn horn.
A dried out sack from a pig.
Pig sack.
It's a small purple salamander.
Okay. Sorry, Jackenbeer.
It's locked.
That's locked. Let's go do a little B&E. Hello? What is in here? Oh.
It's empty. Somebody's really been through this place.
Oh, shoot. The wrong button. Come on. Ooh! Ooh! Ad break! Ad break time! All right, we're back. I got my water. Ooh, thank you. Thank you all for your patience, by the way, with that stuff. I know ad breaks, people hate ads, but like, for me, it just helps me like take a break. I get to take care of myself, which I don't do. I don't take care of myself enough. All right, Cyrus, can you please just... No, not welcome mode on. No, welcome mode off. No. Put away your sword, Cyrus. Thank you. Okay. I think tab is... Hold on. There we go. Unlock door. Unlock door. I guess it's from the inside, I guess. Or is this gonna take me? It takes me out of the Mage's Guild, obviously, but like where? Again, I have not played this since I was a kid, so I don't know much. Oh, I see. There's stairs leading them. Take yourself, damn it, you're a family. Exactly. I don't take care of myself.
What's a password?
Open up.
Sorry, mate, I can't help you.
What's the password? Have you leveled up yet? Can you? You cannot level up yet. You are locked into Cyrus's identity. This is a more linear story. Now, Mitty says, ask the question about all the, you've only experienced Oblivion and Skyrim. Why would you go and people are saying play Morrowind, right? One of the reasons why people always say play Morrowind is because it does the world building that you also see here in this game that makes it interesting, is that there is a real unique sense of place and of character and of world that stands out dramatically in contrast to what we see in Oblivion and in Skyrim. Yep, and look, here's the photographers. And so that's really important. It's like this game, but interesting. Well, it's like this game, but more in line with the Elder Scrolls stuff. That doesn't make it worse or better. It just controls better. Oh, Nasal Man.
I'm Cyrus.
Aren't too many youngsters around these days, especially not as well-spoken as you. I'm Maiko, the local cartographer. Can I help you?
Howdy.
Do you have any maps for sale?
Sorry, I don't sell retail. Contract work only. But perhaps I can make a map for you?
I could use a map of the island.
I used to make those, but I can't compete with the big Hammerfell cartography houses. Hire beggars and streeters.
What's wrong, Simon?
Copy off a master map. You've probably seen their cheap city maps around. Nothing like a good hand-drawn map. But people don't seem to care about craftsmanship anymore.
What's wrong, Simon? Is he Tingle? Kalulimpa? Yeah, the only downside, again, the only downside to Redguard is that its controls are Mako. I'm so confused. He's wearing green and making maps. Oh, Simon, yes, he is absolutely Tingle. Oh, yes. The only downside to this game is its clunky controls. And when the game released, even at the time of this game's release, Bethesda already had the reputation of making a buggy mess of a game. That's like, oh, Daggerfall is phenomenal, the best, computer RPG ever made, but also buggy as all hell. And they already had that reputation. And here, this game was also incredibly buggy. This came at the time when accelerated graphics cards were starting to become a big thing, and so it comes with also just that growing pains of that medium and stuff like that. So it just gets really complicated and a perfect storm of just kind of
what are people talking
bad
about
situations
around town these days?
Damning the governor's eyes, mainly. I try not to get involved in all those troubles. I've seen more than enough suffering in my life. I just want to spend my last days working with my maps.
And wanting to be a fairy.
I wonder if you've heard of this Restless League.
Tingle Tingle Kalulimpa.
The alliance between Daggerfall, Wayrest, and Balfiera against the Cyrodiils during the First Era? No, that was the League of Unrest. No, sorry, I'm just not familiar with it.
You know.
Do you know a young woman named
Smuggler's
Zara?
Den
I'm
underneath.
afraid not. I don't know too many of the youngsters around town these days. You see, I prefer to spend my time with my maps.
What do your maps tell you?
Maps are like people. Did you know that, Cyrus?
Aw.
There are good maps, bad maps, indifferent maps.
I love this man.
You shouldn't trust most maps. They'll lead you astray if you give them a chance. An honest map is rarer than a true friend. Remember that, young sir.
An honest map is rarer than a true friend. I cannot stress enough how much I love the dialogue.
Is life under the Imperial Governor
Not
so
the delivery,
harsh?
but
I
the
said I
words
didn't want to
themselves.
speak of such things.
I've heard tell that your basement is used as a smuggler's den.
Really? How about that? I rent the downstairs to some local lads. They're quiet, always pay up on time. I can't imagine they're up to anything illegal.
I mean, puzzle better maps are like people. Think about it. What makes a map? How are they created? By people and the fallibility of it.
These local lads, do they have names?
They never said. Perhaps you should run downstairs and ask him yourself.
Oh, dude.
We'll talk later.
Can I look at your maps? Your also, hold on. He just wants to make his maps. Look at the quality of that map. Look how amazing it is with the Somerset Isle. That is just so beautiful. And he's got two of them. Look at this wonderful Isle of Ravan and Nalonga. I actually don't know where those are. Mitty says, wait, this game came out in 98? Oh, shit, I'm including this in the next Silver Age episode. Absolutely. Do it. Do it. 98, baby. Beautiful time. He made those two up. Maybe. He's a cartography. I don't see any cars anywhere. Yeah. There you go, Sagra. There you go. Beautiful. Okay. Nothing to say right now, but things will change over time, of course. There's just something about it. Again, I will play these games that don't play very well, just so that you can experience some of this amazing stuff.
There.
Hi.
Hi, Cyrus. And you are?
Lakeen. You're a no here, aren't you?
I am Lakeen.
You know anything about a woman named Zara?
Zara. Name sounds familiar, but I can't say that I do.
Lakeen, what's up?
What do you know about the
Forget
Restless
about it.
League?
Nothing. Who said that I did?
I did.
And what does Stros Mackay hold for you?
Cartographer.
I'm what everyone likes to
Looking
refer
for
to as
carts.
Mr. Fix-It. I'm cursed by it, actually. Oh, and by the way, if you see a man named Triffic, tell him I'll get to his boat when I have time.
Okay.
If I see the fellow, I'll tell him.
And as for what keeps me in Stros Mackay with the Empire and Rickton and all, well, I've lived here a long time, got friends and roots here. And Stros Mackay has deep roots, ancient history. And there's the real mystery.
Oh.
What's wrong with Trithic's boat?
Not sure, really. I think he's had some vandals at night.
The real mystery? I've heard too many already.
Too many already.
The ruins, in the mountains. Dwarves, sailor, long
First time.
dead. An ancient technological treasure trove.
First time we see the
Empires
dwarf
searching the
stuff.
world for such knowledge. They may have found it here.
First time we talk about Dwarven ruins and the Dwarven people.
What does the Empire hope to find there?
Power. Before you know it, we'll have steam-driven carriages and flying machines. Whole empire's interested in them dwarves for some reason.
We don't get those.
Sure.
400 years
Prince of
later.
Tor, Arcade, bless his soul, might have said they were dangerous and we should leave dead civilizations be, but hell, man, there's progress to be made.
400 years later, there's no progress. They're still doing the same stuff.
Flying machines, are you okay?
You wait. You just wait. Those dwarves made up for their lack of magic another way. Magic is the crutch of the world.
Magic is
Why
the
build a
crutch of
better
the
bridge
world.
when a mage can teleport you to the other side? Things have been the same for thousands of years, and it's gonna end soon.
Steam-driven carriages, huh?
That's right. Dwarves knew how to use the steam. You may laugh, but it's a powerful force, and Rickon's got his boys looking at it right now.
All right.
Empire may have what they need to conquer all of Tamriel sooner than you think.
Well, they almost have, right?
What do you know about the smuggler's den?
I've never been there.
I
We'll
believe
talk
you.
later.
I believe you.
Redguard!
No, dude, I don't want to talk to you. Alright, so... Jafar's books. We're still getting... This is, of course, like that introduction. We're getting a lay of the land. We always do this in the beginning of every game. Lay of the land. Learning the areas. Learning the people. Kind of getting context for the world before we dive in. So I apologize that our first play of this game is a lot of dialogue.
Hail, Desert Walker. I am Cyrus.
Jafar is at your service.
Khajiits, man. Love him.
My sister Izara is missing. Do you know her?
An all too common tale in this city. Jafar regrets that he cannot count your sister among his friends.
Ever heard of a group called the Restless League?
Some say pirates, some say rebels. Jafar knows too little to judge. Rumor calls them secret allies of the late prince. Whether they survive the crown's defeat, Jafar cannot say.
Stros Makai seems quiet, almost deserted. Has the Imperial occupation been so harsh?
Tiber Septim has many clansmen of lesser repute than he. The city of the Redguard suffers under one of the least of these. Provisional Governor Richten.
Tiber Septim's reputation seems to depend on who you ask.
True, and the Redguards have long memories, as the statue in the harbor attests. History loves an empire builder, though. Jafar cannot yet say who will write Septim's epitaph.
I was surprised to see Hunding's statue still standing, national treasure or not.
Doubtless, our esteemed governor has reasons aside from Redguard's sentiment. Lord Richten has shown indifference to such niceties in other matters. Witness the fate of the old quarter.
I have not witnessed it yet. Oh, I haven't looked yet.
The old quarter? What happened to that?
We know
in
what
his
happened there,
excessive
Cyrus.
zeal to root out his clan's enemies, Richten put it to the torch.
Excessive
A
zeal.
silent history of Hammerfell, wrought in stone and wood, now ashes. The Redguards speak of dragonfire in the night, but Jafar remained indoors, and so saw nothing.
Do you mean a dragon was here on Stros Makai?
Was, is. Jafar hears much, but knows little.
Is there any way to gain an audience with the governor?
Proclaiming yourself a crown might work, but more likely will lead to a speedy
Hey, that lady
death.
proclaimed herself a crown, and she's
Two
just fine.
besides forebears have access to the palace.
There must be some other way into the palace.
An interesting architectural puzzle. The present structure dates to the early Common Era. A harmonious design. That is, until our esteemed governor began his renovations. The foundations are much older, connected to a maze of catacombs, which may predate the arrival of Redguards in Hammerfell.
How do I get into the catacombs?
That honor is now reserved for crowns, who must find it a pleasant place, for none has ever returned.
You must have found it a pleasant place, because no one's ever returned from there.
The forebears run Stros Makai now?
Redguard politics largely escaped me. The forebears allied with the Empire to win the throne, yet who sits on the high seat of Sentinel? Not Baron Volag, strangely absent from public view since his victory.
Do you think Richten dared murder the forebears' leader?
A strange reward for your chief ally, Jafar agrees. And no mention of murder passed Jafar's lips. Still, there is no king in Hammerfell.
Is it so dangerous to be a crown these days?
Jafar's interests lie more in the past than with the current upheavals. But even Jafar can see that the city has been cleansed of dissidents. Yet soldiers continue to scour the island. To what end?
Do you have any idea what the Imperials are looking for?
Jafar sent 4 copies of Dwarven lore to the palace last week. It may be no coincidence that Stros Makai, with the largest dwarven ruins in the Windward Lands, has received particular attention from the mighty Tiber Septime's clansmen.
Dream Goose says, is entering the catacombs as bad as scaling the Cliffs of Logic? The Cliffs of Logic in King's Quest 6? Oh man, that's some good times.
Windward Lands? I'm not familiar with that term.
I think.
My apologies. Jafar almost forgot he spoke to the Unclawed. The coastlands of Tamriel, to the northwest of our desert homeland. Mighty Tiber Septime bids fair to become clan mother to them all, Hammerfell included.
The Paris catacombs and Deus Ex were pretty rough.
Dwarven ruins. I'm intrigued.
I have to play Deus Ex.
As well you should be. An amazing sight, full of the inexplicable work of that vanished people. No longer open for visitors. However, the Imperials have sealed the ancient gates for reasons known only to our honorable governor.
Buy books. What do we got to buy?
I'd like to buy a book.
These shelves hold wisdom and folly in equal measure. Choose carefully.
Ooh. Really? Dwarven lore?
Do you recommend Favrel's Dwarven lore?
Marabar Sul's Ancient Tales of the Dreamer is more comprehensive, but hard to come by, alas. And a weighty tome, too, at 16 volumes.
Ooh, 16 volumes.
For 54 gold, Favril's little book is an excellent overview.
I don't have the money right now. We only have 100 right now.
I have to think about it.
We're not buying books right now. I want to. I want to buy all the books. Let's buy all the books, but...
Peace, Desert Walker. I must go.
I cannot buy all the books. I want to buy all the books. Whoa.
This book on elven artifacts details the Flask of Lilandril, an ancient flask with the ability to absorb magic.
Ooh.
The flask was supposedly shipwrecked with its founders off the coast of Stros Makai sometime during the First Era. One of the sections even has some sort of map notations in it. Maybe someone can make the map from them.
Ooh. Okay, so we gotta buy that at some point. Because we wonder.
This book on Dwarven lore reveals that the dwarves were destroyed long ago by the Dark Elves. There is one interesting passage which translates the Dwarven language, which bears a slight resemblance to Elven.
Interesting. I love that, the books. Oh, thank you for the books. No, Cyrus, buddy. Come on. Cyrus.
Pardon, but no patrons behind the counter.
Sorry. I'm getting out of the way.
Pardon, but no patrons behind the counter.
I didn't mean to intrude.
Flora of Hammerfell details the flora of my home province. It says here that aloe, when combined with pure water, can have healing properties.
Ooh, aloe and water. That's because dwarves, elves, and man have common ancestors.
Redguards. They're heroes in history. It talks of Redguard origins and their great heroes, including Hunding, who, with his 5 magical swords, drove the goblins from Hammerfell, and Lecky, the saint of the spirit sword.
Will we see Lecky in Elder Scrolls Redguard? I don't know.
It says here that the stars of Tamriel are divided into 13 constellations. 3 of them are the major constellations, the Guardians, which protect the minor ones. Their charges from the 13th constellation, which is the Serpent. Each Guardian has 3 charges apiece, and are only on guard during their particular season. The current season is presided over by the Warrior.
Interesting. I love this. Yeah, the warrior is a guardian constellation and thus protects his charges from the serpent during his season. His charges are the lady, the steed, and the lord. Final constellations which share his quadrant of the heavens. The serpent threatens different charges during different seasons, and the warrior's very aspect will change according to the times. If, for example, his lady is being threatened, the warrior will seem as if he is looking to his left, eyes blazing towards that part of the sky wherein she resides. Thus, to find the serpent during the warrior's season, look to where he looks. That is where the coiled beast is active. I love this. I love this. I eat this up. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Oh, no. No. Cyrus, stop. Buddy. No. Put your sword away. Thank you. Ugh. See? Controls. We haven't gotten to the platforming aspect, because there's a lot of platforming in this game, actually. And that's where things start to fall apart. We're still in the honeymoon phase. In the honeymoon phase right now. The game couldn't be more magical, right?
It's locked.
Couldn't be more magical.
It's locked.
It's locked. This leads to the palace, I think, right? Yes. There's the old district. Yep, there it is. Yes, I said platforming. I did not stutter, Mitty. Platforming indeed. Hello.
What do you want?
I need to visit with one of your prisoners.
They don't take visitors. Now go about your business.
The worst parts of this game: the voice acting, the combat, and the platforming.
Keeping the jail full?
Indeed, Redguard. Move along.
All right, dude. I'll move along.
That's all for now, but I'll be back.
I'll be back.
It's locked.
It's locked. The combat, Sakura, is manageable. Clunky, but manageable. I would say. Is probably the best way I could describe it.
What do you want?
This is the palace, correct?
High praise. It's manageable.
I need to speak with Governor Rickton.
What business do you have with him?
The graphics are fantastic.
I need to ask him a few questions.
Don't say the graphics are bad. This is
Not
beautiful
good
graphics.
Enough. Now move along.
I love them. I love
That's
them.
all for now, but I'll be back.
Sure.
This is an aesthetic that I love. There's a game I have to show at some point in time. It's still kind of an early access, but it's called Dread Delusion, and it is a wild first-person action RPG of the similar style to the Elder Scrolls games, and it's got a low poly look to it, and it's just so phenomenal. A bit shabby since, yeah. That's probably, I mean, obviously, you know, they're not cutting-edge graphics. Yeah. No. We think of the time, right? We think of the time. How is this comparable of the time? Oh, lady, you are something else. Here's the well. Turn the wheel. Compelling, but I'm turning the wheel because I think it might be helpful at some point. Wink, wink.
Hey, Redguard, what about a drink?
Krendel, dude, shut
locked.
up. Shut up, Krendel. Nobody likes you. See all these locked doors? So what happens is eventually you'll get like lockpicks and things, and you can get access to these places.
Locked.
But only one lockpick per door, and they all usually have something beneficial for you as the player. Ooh, a snake charmer.
He looks a little preoccupied.
Can I tip him? here. Hello. Silversmiths. Cyrus? Cyrus, what are you okay, Cyrus? Cyrus? Cyrus?
Greetings, my lady.
Oh my gosh. Full 360.
A sentinel accent, isn't it? I am Chrysandra, silversmith of Stros Mackay. Pleased to meet you.
Are you from Sentinel originally?
Yes, I owned a shop there for 6 years, on Market Street.
Yes, Sucker
Perhaps you
Jedi
know
Knight.
it? Sentinel is overcrowded these days, and when I heard of a business for sale here, I decided to take the chance. So far, I haven't had too much trouble from the locals.
Why would the local people give you trouble?
Forebears aren't exactly popular around here, you know. I've never been much involved in politics, but I always supported the Forebear cause. Before the war,
Half-Life.
all
Ooh,
that
baby.
didn't matter. I had many friends who were crowns, but things are different now.
You're new here, then.
Arrived only 2 months ago. I'm still trying to get things sorted out. The former owner must not have cleaned this place for 20 years. There was so much junk piled up. I tossed most of it in my warehouse next door just to get it out of the way.
The old silversmith. He left because of the war?
He died, actually. I bought the shop from his estate. I guess there was some kind of incident in the old quarter where the most fanatical crowns lived.
Yeah, he's dead.
I'm looking for my sister, Izara. Do you
She
know
wouldn't
her?
know her, but...
I'm afraid not. I have few friends here as yet. I'm hoping that as time passes, things will get back to normal, but the war is still too fresh for people here to forget that I'm a forebear.
How has Stros Mackay fared under Imperial occupation?
It's suffered greatly. The incident in the old quarter seems to have left the city in shock. The crowns lost the war, after all. You can't expect them to get over that in a few months.
No.
What can you tell me about the Restless League?
I know I sound just like every other forebear, but they were nothing more than pirates, using the Civil War as cover for their crimes. They were a black mark on the Crown's cause from the beginning. The destruction of the League is one of the few good things to come from the Empire's victory.
So the League has been wiped out?
As far as I can tell, they haven't been seen in Stros Mackay in weeks.
Except for today.
Their last hurrah was blowing up the governor's flagship, a pointless gesture which only spurred Reichton to finish cleaning out their organization from the city.
What do you know of the new provisional governor, Reichton?
Ruthless to a fault. Served him well during the war, but not a trait guaranteed to win loyalty in a new province. I wonder how much Tiber Septim knows of what Reichton is up to here in Hammerfell.
Ooh.
Tiber Septim, the colossus of our generation, Tamriel's new self-proclaimed emperor. What's your take?
The Empire's expansion has proceeded according to the merits of the Emperor's servants. By all accounts, Septim's governor in High Rock has ended the feuding of the Witch Kings there with tact and skill. The Emperor's representative here in Stros Mackay is not of the same caliber, and the Emperor is viewed dimly as a result.
As a result.
You call it the Empire's victory. What of the Forebears?
Please, I'm not one of the Forebear fanatics. Anyone can see that Baron Volag was used, then cast aside by the Empire. He hoped to be king of Hammerfell.
I like this
but who
lady.
has seen him
She's
since
very
his
down to
supposed
earth.
Victory?
She's very down to earth.
You disagree with Baron Volag's decision to ally the Forebears with the Empire?
A gamble that he lost. As a forebear, I supported Volag's claim to the throne of Hammerfell. I never supposed he was infallible. But the war's over now, and the only thing to do is make the best of the new situation. A
Down to
philosophy
nerd.
all
There you
crowns
go.
should embrace, if you ask me.
I've been told of a smuggler's den under the cartographer's shop. Have you heard of it?
Sure I have. Smuggler's Den. Ha! A pretty grandiose name for a place where the local boys go to get away from their wives and play cards.
Oh.
So do you think it's nothing more sinister than that?
Well, I've heard rumors it was connected with the Restless League, but they're hard to take seriously if a joker like Lakeen could get in.
Lakeen!
I admire your courage.
Lakeen!
Forebear in the crown capital.
When I first arrived, the Restless League made a few threats, but the Empire seems to have them under control now. Forebear and Crown, that's all in the past anyway. Hammerfell is part of the Empire now. At least we finally can stop killing each other.
That'd be nice, right?
Do you know what happened?
It was before I arrived. The people here tell some pretty fantastic stories. As near as I can figure, the Crowns burned their houses down around their heads rather than surrender after the Imperials took the city. Some would call that admirable, but I think the Redguards put too much stock in zealotry.
Ooh. Too much stock in zealotry.
I haven't been back to Sentinel since before the war. How did it fare?
Better than Stros Mackay. Before I came here, I thought the stories I'd heard were just Crown propaganda. The Crowns recaptured Sentinel just before the Empire intervened, but it was nothing like this. Stros Mackay was the center of Crown resistance, and I suppose the Empire is making an example of the city.
What does Lakeen have to do with the smuggler's den?
Oh, I really shouldn't gossip, but I'm sure you won't tell anyone, will you, Cyrus?
No, I won't.
Seems he was gambling at the smuggler's den and lost his wife's antique silver locket.
Ooh.
He came to me, desperate to have it replaced so she wouldn't find out. I'd have been glad to help, but I couldn't reproduce it simply from his description. Poor fellow. He went away quite crushed.
I'm told of a legendary magical flask, supposed to be buried somewhere on the island.
Sounds fascinating. I love stories of buried treasure.
Interesting. I like this lady. I'm down with her. She's gonna help me out. We're gonna get Lakeen's locket back. Oh, Lakeen! Sorry for that little static. Ugh, it's pretty bad. Ooh, fish hanging. Like, that's a little high up for fish, right? Hanging the fish up there? It's a little high. Hey, dude.
One moment.
Sorry, man. Imperials everywhere. I don't talk with strangers.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, bro. Then we have, the general goods. Yes, general goods store. We're learning. We're talking to everybody. And then we're going to be ending the stream soon. We're getting close to the end. Hello? Oh, God. Hello.
Good day.
Hello, shopkeeper. My name is Cyrus.
Pleased to meet you, my good fellow. Garrick, your humble servant.
Hi, Elf.
I wonder if you know my sister Izara.
Izara? Zara! A lovely name, by the way. I believe she may have been mixed up with those League pirates. Am I right?
Hanging them so high is kind of fishy. Indeed.
What do you know about the Restless League?
A collection of the worst scum from the sewers of Stros Mackay. Pirates who'd cut your throat as soon as look at you. I know your sister's name.
What did he say?
Ignore Orsine. Good Cyrus, he's a half-wit. What were we talking about?
My parents are half-wit.
The League. How's business these days?
If it's not pirates stealing your cargo, it's Imperial taxes. I get by, though. All the ships heading for the Iliac Bay pass through here, so I get first crack at all their wares. As long as I can get that lazy Rolo to bring it up from the harbor. Lazy Rolo, fat Orsine. Fat.
I've heard tell of a magical flask hidden somewhere on the island. Do you know anything about it?
The Flask of Lalandrel, far famed in song and legend, from my own homeland of Somerset Isle, you know. And you must have heard of the mysterious map. Always a map.
I haven't been to Somerset Isle in years. Beautiful place, as I recall.
I should ask you for news then, Redguard. I last saw the Eternal Isle in my youth, long before you were born. I'm older than I look. Beautiful, yes, but static and snobbish.
Yes.
A shopkeeper like me is lower than dirt back home. Here, I'm
static
a
and
respected pillar of
snobbish.
the community.
Static and snobbish.
You know of a map to the flask?
Oh yes. According to legend, the ship carrying the flask and its owners was shipwrecked on Stros Mackay. That was all back thousands of years ago, before the Redguards ever came to Hammerfell, you understand. Perhaps a survivor hid the flask and made a map. Who knows? Trithic could tell you more, though.
Ooh. Trithic, huh?
He used to be quite the flask hound. Why, I must have sold him 6 shovels over the years.
Hound.
That's what I'm trying to find out. She's been missing for 3 months. What do you know about them?
That bloodthirsty gang of villains. If your poor sister was connected with them, I'm afraid to speculate on what might have happened. Poor Pretty. They've been a plague on Stros Makai for years, although the cowards haven't dared show their faces since the Imperials arrived.
Late Pete Garrick knows more. Knows more.
He knows more.
The Empire crushed the Restless League?
I assume so. They haven't been seen around Stros Makai for months. The League pretended to be patriotic rebels after the Crown's defeat, but a few encounters with Imperial warships quieted them down right quick.
Please, if you know anything more about Azara.
Well, she came into my shop some time ago, looking for malachite. Don't stock it, of course, unusual request. But she was very insistent.
Squawk! Sister plenty money. Bright face.
Izara offered me a tidy sum for the malachite, much more than it was worth. I said I could have some for her in 3 weeks, but she needed it right away. I'm afraid she may have tried the smuggler's den, dear me. Not a place to walk into with a purse full of gold.
Interesting.
Did Azara say why she needed malachite?
I'm sorry, no. Not much call for it anymore, now that the alchemist shop is closed.
Bah! Old Brownish Crustfinger! Bah!
Ooh.
Smuggler's den?
Yes, under the cartographer's shop. An open secret around town. I'm sure those smugglers are connected with the Restless League. Selling Valenwood wine stolen from my own ships at double the price since they have no competition. I can't prove any of it, of course.
I'm a pretty bird.
You are a pretty bird.
Malachite is used in alchemy.
I believe so. Old Vromish, the alchemist, used to order a pound or two from time to time. But he's been dead now these 7 years, and the Mages Guild gets their potions wholesale, so I haven't carried malachite since.
The Mages Guild sells potions?
Yes, they now have an official monopoly on magic of any kind. Archmage Vo is took advantage of his access to the prince at the expense of us small businessmen.
Ooh.
Remains to be seen what the new Imperial policy will be. Governor Rickton's too busy with his archaeological hobby to bother with a small matter like economic policy.
The governor is an archaeology buff?
Archaeology buff.
He's crazy over anything Dwarven. The Dwarven ruins are full of soldiers looking for who knows what. Rickton better hope the Emperor never finds out how he's wasting his valuable troops.
Where are these Dwarven ruins?
Down on the south end of the island. You won't get in, though. Rickton's men have sealed the gates.
Cool. What do you have for sale? Yeah, what do you got?
I'd like to make a purchase.
Splendid. What do you need?
I need, a shovel, aloe, torch, compass, feather. And let's get a show. Oh boy, how much?
The shovel over there, how much?
A sturdy shovel. Just the thing for the intrepid treasure hunter. Guaranteed not to break, scratch, or dent. A bargain at only 30 gold.
Oh boy. Yeah.
I'll take it.
A pleasure doing business with you, Cyrus.
Okay, how much for the compass?
That looks like a decent compass.
The one item no one should be without. Never lose your way again.
Oh,
With a small
no,
investment of 50
that.
gold, peace of mind for a lifetime.
Never mind.
I'll have to think about it.
I'm sure you'll change your mind.
I should have bought that instead.
Thanks for the time, Garrick.
No. Talk to the parrot, Cyrus. Don't kill the parrot, please.
And what's your name? I'm searching for a young lady.
I know your sister's name.
Her dealings, I fear, were
Her
shady.
dealings, I fear, were shady.
And rumors of her game.
Ooh. Can the parrot be killed? I don't know.
My time is short.
I only rhyme.
Come be a sport.
Come, be a sport.
Rhyming.
About half the time.
A birds you're most sublime.
Of birds you're most sublime.
Sir, I really can't explain. Rah!
Oh no, that wasn't right.
I'm searching for a
You
young
gotta make
lady.
these rhyme. It's a rhyme game.
I know your sister's name.
Her dealings, I fear, were shady.
And
Have a wonderful night,
rumors of her
Mitty.
game.
My time is short.
I only rhyme.
Come, be a sport.
About half the time.
Of birds you're most sublime.
Oh, yeah.
Sir, I really can't explain.
Sorry, really can't explain. Okay.
I fought some worthless thugs not long ago.
I know your sister's name.
Pretty bird, what have you heard?
Pretty bird, what have you heard?
Rah!
No, that's not it.
How long have you lived on the Isle?
I know your sister's name.
Pray then, parrot, won't you please explain?
Rah!
Oh.
Bye-bye then.
There's a code to
Bye-bye,
this
then.
that we'll probably have to figure out at some point.
Yes.
There's a code we have to figure out at some point, I figure. Another code word. Interesting. The game's afoot. When I was a kid, I just explored the island. I never did anything. I just explored the island all the time. Never got anywhere. Just wandered, and I don't remember any of it. So this is where the... alchemist was? Is this building? I'm guessing? It's the next door, I thought. Oh, there's a back door here. I can't get in. Oh, shucks. Okay. Let's do some exploring. So this is the garden, I think, right? I think. Maybe not. Come on, Cyrus. You can do this, buddy. Oh, jeez. Slide. Oh, God, Cyrus. Cyrus. You okay? You okay, brother? So there is a lighthouse down here. Right, somewhere. Seagulls! Oh!
Hey, sailor.
Hold on. Oh, we gotta wrap this up. Oh my gosh.
May I trouble you for a moment, my lady?
Lady, you say? You must be new in town. Besides, the owner would have remembered you.
I believe this woman is a
Cyrus,
prostitute.
At your service. Do you know a young lady named Azara? My sister, last seen over 3 months ago.
Sarah, yes. I see the family resemblance. Can't say I know her, though. She was all caught up in them troubles we had when the young prince was killed.
My friend Tobias told me to look you up.
You know Tobias?
Yeah.
One of my best customers, and I'm no lie.
Oh.
Any friend of Tobias is a friend of the owner. I'll be happy to help you
Oh
out
my.
anywhere I can.
Tobias.
Do you know a young lady named Azara?
Sarah, yes.
Okay.
What is news around Stros Mackay these days?
That it's best to keep your mouth shut or end up in the catacombs. Or worse.
Or worse.
Have you heard anything about a group called the Restless League?
They claim to fight the Empire, but they seem more interested in plunder from what I can tell. They make a point to target forebears, though, so I guess they aren't all bad.
These catacombs, some kind of a dungeon?
That's where Fat Boy tosses any crowns he can catch.
Fat
Under
Boy.
the palace, where the dragon lives.
Fat Boy?
A dragon lives in these catacombs?
That's how Fat Boy beat the crowns.
Exactly.
The Imperial
They're all very
settlers think
informed.
The dragon's still down there, laying about on the Royal Sea of Coin.
We'll talk later. Be careful.
Well?
Oh, there's something here. Hello? Oh. No, Cyrus. Cyrus, for the love of God, Cyrus.
Looks like it's locked from the inside.
Ah, bet you they're in the catacombs. Whee! Oh, Cyrus. Swimming. Going off. Oh, we should probably save before we go off the rails. I need to actually wrap up the stream. I'm so tired. Oh my gosh. Alright. Sploring. Alright, let's wrap this up. We'll do more exploring afterwards. We gotta quit. I gotta go find someone to raid. Thank you for coming in and hanging out. Like, I greatly appreciate it, dude. Anyone's time is absolutely valuable. So, like, anytime anyone comes out to hang out here, it means the world to me. So thank you guys so much. We're gonna be back, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, with more Elder Scrolls Redguard. Probably more than talking this time. We'll probably get a lot more done, hopefully. Fingers crossed. And then what also, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll be starting up Dark Void, a wonderful Capcom jetpack action game that Simon swears by and says that it is a must-play. And I am all for it. So let's see who we can raid tonight. Who is on? Let's see what's going on. Ooh, okay. Albert Prime is playing Carmen Sandiego. Let's go say hi to them. Carmen Sandiego. We love me some Carmen Sandiego. All right. Thank you everybody for coming in. Thank you so much for all the raids and everybody just chilling and keeping me company. You make this stuff so awesome. I'll be back Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. More Redguard. Have a wonderful night, everybody. And as always, to humor. Take care.